downtown Cleveland, the Calder Cup champions pay homage to the American League pennant winners. It's Cleveland Indians Tribute Night at the Q as the Monsters play host to the Chicago Wolves. And welcome inside Quicken Loans Arena, everybody, alongside my broadcast partner, Jock Callander. I'm Tony Brown. Jock, these uniforms are something special tonight on Indians Tribute Night. One last chance, or maybe another chance, for Cleveland sports fans to reminisce about a year for the ages.
It was a fabulous year with the Cavs winning, the Monsters winning, the Indians coming oh so close. But these are very nice uniforms. Got them firsthand yesterday, delivered, and they're sweet.
From top to bottom, they look the part. Do the Monsters tonight. Now, this is a rematch this evening of a tilt on Thursday night that featured a great start for Cleveland. Jamie Seifert scored less than 2 minutes into the game to give the Monsters a 1-0 lead. From there, though, back-to-back Chicago goals before TJ Tynan equalized in the second period to make it 2-2 heading into the third. Little bit of a lapse for Cleveland down the stretch, though. 2 quick goals, including that game winner from Wade Megan, and the Wolves came away for 2 winners. Talked to TJ Tynan this morning and asked him, what are some of the areas you can improve to make sure you get the win tonight?
I think just turnovers. I think we gave them too many opportunities just from our mistakes. Special teams, I think our power play can give us a goal. That would be huge. So, yeah, I think those 2 things will help us out for sure.
Well, Jock, what do you think? I mean, obviously, those are areas in which the Monsters can improve. Do you agree with TJ that you step up in those 2 spots and maybe you get a win?
Yeah, you can't afford turnovers here. Chicago's got a powerful offense, so their transition game's very good. And the special teams is big against Chicago. They're one of the top penalty-killing teams in the league.
And one of the top offensive teams in the division and conference to boot. Let's take a look at the Jeep Legendary keys to the game. Fancy your Jeep dealer today to experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability. Defensive hockey critical every night. Tonight, no exception.
Yeah, they've got scoring up and down the lineup. They drive the net very well, and they play good offense all the way through their lineup. Special teams, they got one of the top power plays, and they're even better in penalty killing with 4th in the league. So, and then the goaltending, Corpusello's going to have to be sharp tonight because the Wolves, they crash the net, they shoot the puck from everywhere, and they go hard on offense.
From the Q in Cleveland, take me out to the hockey game. Indians night, we'll hear from Coach Madden and drop the puck. When we return, it's the Wolves and the Monsters, round 6 of 12, when we come back on Fox Sports Ohio. Now we send it downstairs to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Kenny Rhoda.
Thanks, Tony. I'm just outside the Monsters locker room where a short while ago head coach John Madden talked about Thursday night's game against Chicago. They battled back, but they came up a little bit short in that 3rd period.
Well, I thought we played a good game overall, but there's some things that we've got to improve on. It's been so many times this year when we're tied in the 3rd period, we break and we make mental mistakes. So we talked about it, and hopefully we can improve our mental approach to the game and just stay with the program. And if it's 2-2 going overtime, we'll take it. For going forward, I think we need to forecheck better against these guys. They came out of their zone really easy against us. Overall, though, I thought the guys competed really hard.
Real deep forward group for Chicago, guys like Agostino, Megan, lots of players that can hurt you. What do you want to see done better in your defensive zone tonight?
Well, first of all, everybody talks about D zone when you're dealing with a team that's that deep, but I want our guys to hang on to the puck in the O zone and make them defend. They're all offensive players that get great numbers, but if you make them defend, they shouldn't have as much energy when they finally reach your own zone. But in our D zone, I thought we did a good job. I thought we could have closed quicker. I thought we could have supported the puck better and execute coming out. There was so many passes we missed. So, if we pick up our execution and close quicker in the D zone, we should be in good shape.
Jonas Corpusello's back for you guys after a couple of NHL appearances and about 3 weeks up with Columbus. What do you expect to see from him tonight?
A real good game. He's a real good goalie. That's why he was up. But we got high hopes for him in his future. But we're just looking for a great game out of him. Give us a chance to win.
Coach Madden hoping his troops can bounce back here tonight at Quicken Loans Arena and get a win. Tony, back up to you for tonight's face-off.
And welcome everyone inside the Q in downtown Cleveland, where tonight it is Indians Tribute Night for the Cleveland Monsters as the Calder Cup champs tipping their cap to their neighbors across Gateway Plaza, the Cleveland Indians. The opponent tonight, the Chicago Wolves, alongside Jock Callander, Tony Brown here with you. This is a heated Central Division rivalry and a big game, the last for Cleveland prior to the All-Star break. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders tonight. You heard from Coach Jonas Corpusello, sent down from Columbus. Lewis. He makes his first start for Cleveland in some time. 5-5-2, his 13th appearance of the year. 299 goals against, a 900 save percentage. His opponent, Phoenix. Copley, recently sent down from NHL St. Louis. Craig Berube, longtime former NHL defenseman behind the bench for Chicago in the midst of his first season with the Wolves. And John Madden in his first year with Cleveland has the Monsters at 19-17, 1-3 in fourth place entering tonight's game. Jock Callander, the headline, at least off the top. How about those uniforms for the Monsters? They are something else.
Yeah, they are sweet. If they're going to be auctioned off tonight, I imagine they'll go for a pretty penny. These fans are all going to want one of them right from the socks all the way up.
Talk about a collector's item, and as the puck is down at center, they're now game worn as we're underway. And off the opening draw, a puck dribbles in front of Jonas Korpisalo, and he will cover up. Take a look at our officials tonight as assigned by the American Hockey League. It's a four-man crew. The two referees, Chris Schlenker and Stephen Renault, Brian Wisner and Sean Morgan on the lines. Similar crew as to that which worked on Thursday night in this building. A 4-2 win for Chicago in that game. Really tight game. The Wolves broke away from the pack, forgive the pun, in the third period en route to that win. And now after a coverage on one end, we've got a freezing of the puck by Phoenix Copley on the other, and an ozone faceoff upcoming with a choppy start here at the Q.
Well, the Wolves have had a strong last 20 games. They didn't have the greatest start, as either did the Monsters, but the Wolves have been one of the hotter teams the last 20 games.
Face-off controlled. Here's another fresh face back from the Blue Jackets. Marcus Hannakainen quickly swiveling and shooting. And that's a big boost to this Cleveland forward group as Copley hangs on. Hannakainen off a stint in which he scored his first NHL goal. So energized to be back with Cleveland. Monsters lead the season series with a record of 3-2, 2-1 in this building, and an even goal differential right down the middle, 12-12 so far. Face-off controlled by Cleveland, opening minute, period 1, and already 3 stoppages. Here's a chance in front for the Monsters. Great save with the left pad by Copley. Denied was Alex Broadhurst from just outside the blue paint. And the Monsters starting quickly here with some pressure in the offensive zone.
A nice play by Nick Mutry, who took the body, took the puck, and then set up Broadhurst right in front.
Big hit on the left point as Mutry piles into Petteri Lindboom, and now along the end wall, Mackenzie McEachern after it for Chicago. Scooter Vaughn able to distribute back below the Monsters goal line. Passed out to the right point. Vince Dunn, one of the top 20 scorers in the league amongst defensemen this year. He played it into the corner. Back out top, Lindboom. He's the only player on this Wolves roster scoring at a point-per-game pace against Cleveland this year, and right there didn't make much difference against Big Nick Mutry. Thunderous hit as the Monsters set a physical tone.
Well, Mutry's had 3 hits on his first shift. If he's going to play like that, he's going to have a super game tonight.
No kidding. Monsters now happy to see the Milano, Scott, Ryan Craig line out there. The Monsters back with their captain after a 5-game absence, and that's a big boost for this dressing room and this team to be back with Ryan Craig in the lineup. And making his impact felt is a long shot there from Agazzino, a former Monster, swallowed by Korpisalo, but Craig throwing the body on Ellis. There have been a lot of body checks to begin here, but here's a look at the best scoring chance we've had so far. You mentioned the play on the end wall by Mutry, and then out in front, Broadhurst denied by the left leg of Copley.
Yeah, Mutry looked like he was going to wrap it. He faked the wrap and then threw to Broadhurst, who was in a better position for a shot, and Copley made a big save.
Face-off, played back behind the Monsters net, just over the 1-minute mark. In fact, the 90-second mark is come and gone. Scoreless first period. Chicago being hounded here. Monsters wearing navy, of course, from left to right. Their Cleveland Indians-inspired jerseys here on Indians Night, presented by our great friends at Car Parts Warehouse. And meanwhile, from right to left here in the first, it's Chicago in their road white uniform. Right point held in there by Morgan Ellis, down to the near side circle. Spinning in the high slot, distributed back Ellis's way on the right point. And into the far corner. Samuel Blais let it go by, played by Andrew Agazzino, the all-time leading scorer in Monsters franchise history. Now Ellis close to interference there on Milano as he pursued at center. Back the other way, drop feed from Barbashev. Agazzino floats one over the head of Korpisalo. And the Monsters pick up in the form of Joe Pendenza. into the offensive zone. Drops it back. Here's Cyphers. Quick shot, and he got glass behind Copley there. And, of course, it was Jamie Cyphers who scored just a minute 25 into the game on Thursday to stake the Monsters to a 1-0 lead.
A good opportunity there for Cyphers. He's got to hit the net, though, because when that misses and he's a defenseman, it goes all the way around. It almost gave Chicago an odd man rush.
How about this one for Jamie Cyphers? He's got 4 goals this year, 3 of them against the Chicago Wolves. We'll take a look at our NovaCare Rehabilitation Injury and Scratch Report presented by NovaCare, the official sports rehab provider of the Cleveland Monsters. You see across the bottom of your screen there, the Monsters tonight without Ryan Stanton for the 3rd straight game, 9th straight absence for Marc-Andre Bergeron, 10th straight absence for Daniel Czar. Also scratched tonight Mike Brown, Jacob Graves, and Brett Delane.
We'll get back to Cyphers. He used to play for the Wolves, so he may have a little liking to scoring against the Wolves.
Little vendetta, perhaps. Whatever it takes to produce. And Cyphers has done that against Chicago this year. 16.5 minutes to go in the first. No scores. Shots 2 apiece. Here come the Wolves into the offensive zone. Connor Bleakley lost control. Dean Kukin with it for Cleveland. Now Oliver Bjorkstrand into the open ice at center. Good seam play ahead. Long shot from Hannakainen, swallowed by Copley. Hangs on with 16:17 to go in the first period.
Well, Marcus Hannakainen is always a nice addition. It's his energy and his leadership out there.
Hey, fans, the Monsters would like to thank University Hospital's Parma Medical Center, NovaCare Network Radiology, the Vision Development Team, Team Dentist Dr. D. Todd Russell, Team Physician Dr. Scott Singer, and Team Chiropractor Dr. Bernie Bubanek for being the official medical team of the Cleveland Monsters. Another push towards the net off the draw for Cleveland here. Loose in the far corner. Jordan Maleta able to play that one behind the net. Back to the center position for Maleta after a couple of games on the wing. Spinning and firing is Jordan. And a glove save by Copley. Might have gone wide left. Held for good measure. Maleta, a versatile player, and he's been impactful in this Monsters lineup in his rookie season.
Well, he's gotten better and better as the season. Him and Justin Scott both, I've liked the improvement they've shown under the leadership of this coaching group. But they've got a lot of ice time, and they're taking advantage of it. They're playing well defensively. They're winning face-offs. They're killing penalties. They've played very well.
Off this draw, here's Magnus Payarvi for the Wolves. Down the left side, hits the trailer, and Ellis scores. Chicago with a 1-0 lead on the 3rd Wolves shot. It's 1-0 for the visitors.
Well, Ellis jumped up into play here and led into a 3-on-2. And he got a great shot right from the hash marks and beat Corpusello.
Good saucer feed from Payarvi down the left circle there. Take a look at how this play developed quickly off the draw in the defensive zone for Chicago. The hard wrap there, Jock, and then Payarvi, an experienced guy with a lot of NHL time under his belt. Nice pass, and Ellis doesn't miss.
Well, the puck jumped over Siebeneller at the blue line. He tried to keep it in the offensive zone. It got by him, which led to the 3-on-2.
1-0 for the Chicago Wolves. That road goal, always important. The Wolves have it tonight. And now off the draw, puck off the end wall in the Cleveland zone, out into a dangerous spot in the slot. And the Monsters wriggle out of a tight area there. Here is McNeil for Chicago inside his own line. Coming up on 5 minutes gone in the first with the Wolves up 1-0 now. On a Morgan Ellis goal goes down as his 5th of the year and 17th point. Far circle, defensive zone, big hit there, attempted by Yavenko. Loose below the goal line now as Jamie Cyphers tried to lift the stick on McEachern. Back to the line, tapped McEachern's way from his captain, Chris Butler, now in the corner. Played below the goal line by Friesen. He'll touch into the near corner and Scooter Vaughn. Chicago working around the perimeter here. Over pursuing was Milano there, and now here's Schmaltz attempting a head fake on Craig. Starts back to the center point, slips one into the slot. Quick backhander just wide of Corpusalo's right post. Off the end wall, Yavenko finishes a hit in the corner. Up the near side for Milano, and he'll dart back into his own zone, find some open ice with which to work. Chicago completing a line change here. The Wolves lead it 1-0 on a goal for Ellis. Now the Monsters, with just over 5 minutes gone in the opening period, surge into their offensive zone. Pendenza, Sidlowski on this 4th line tonight with Paul Bittner. Down to the near wall, Sidlowski gives away. Pendenza had a chance to fire, waited a beat too long, and Lindboot stepped into it. To the right point, it's John Ramage, pivoting and waiting. He'll tuck one into the corner. Sidlowski worked on there by Barbashev. Sidlowski centers through and stubbing his toe as Bittner wrap around attempt, but in the blue paint. Copley sprawls and covers. Great chance for Cleveland, and a couple of missed opportunities there for the Monsters.
Well, a nice feed by Sidlowski, and Bittner just fanned on it, and he had a wide open short side here, but a nice play by Ramage to get it in. But Sidlowski beats his guy in the corner, and he feeds Bittner back door, and he's got a wide open side of the net, but he just fans on it.
Still looking for that first goal of the season is Paul Bittner. Sean Sidlowski is a guy we've talked about over the past week or so. Prolific scorer in the ECHL, and just scored his first career AHL goal in Milwaukee last Tuesday, and trying to provide some of that depth scoring here for Cleveland.
Yeah, if he gets his chances, he'll score some goals for the Monsters.
Just offside as Bjorkstrand couldn't hold the line there. Sidlowski's seen time on the power play, but right now the Monsters trail Chicago 1-0. More first period action when we come back. 1-0 Wolves. Stay with us on the Monsters Hockey Network. Back inside the queue, the Chicago Wolves on top of the Monsters in the early going by a score of 1-0. Hey fans, Sports Time Ohio is the place to catch all the AHL All-Star festivities. The skills competition is tomorrow night at 7:30. Then on Monday at 7, it's the AHL All-Star Game live from Allentown, Pennsylvania, featuring our own Ryan Craig, Oliver Bjorkstrand, and Anton Forsberg. AHL All-Stars, 3 of them on this Monsters roster. That's a franchise record. Should be a lot of fun, Jock. I know you'll be there in Allentown. And always fun to see the best of the best in the AHL on display.
Yeah, it's always a good, fun couple days with the skill contest and seeing everyone from around the league.
Here's Bjorkstrand as we're back to work here in the first period with Chicago up 1-0. Intercepting a pass at center. He'll lead for Hannakainen. Tynan now into the offensive zone. Onside. Slips one Bjorkstrand's way. Couple of players calling for a one-timer now. Ramage down the slot and the arm up. Delayed penalty call coming against the Wolves. Corpusalo out of his net for the extra skater. 6-on-5 advantage here on the delayed call against Chicago. The Monsters will have the first power play of this game, but now trying to make hay while the sun shines here on the delayed penalty. Here's Milano swiveling his way through center, taps one off the dasher, and then touched by the Wolves. And so this Cleveland power play gets the first crack with the extra skater tonight. And boy, what a boost it would be here 7 minutes into this first period to tie the game with a power play goal, something the Monsters have looked to improve upon lately.
Yes, well here Ramage beats Agostino and has him beat, and he has to hook him or else he's in all alone on the goaltender. That's what Coach Madden was talking about at the start of the year. The start of the game was playing their zone. Agostino, one of the top scorers in the AHL, but when you get him down in his zone, he sometimes struggles.
Monsters were kind of cold on the power play to start the year. They had an uptick and now settling in 26th in the league, 15.3% overall against a Chicago penalty kill. That is very good. Jock ranks 4th in the AHL, 85% overall, and 13 for 13 against the Monsters in the season series. Worth noting, neither team so far through 5 meetings has scored a power play goal against one another this season, the Wolves and Monsters. So here is Cleveland's first crack with the extra man. Milano into the offensive zone, upended there by Butler. This one sped around and past Sidlowski all the way back down in front of Corpusalo. He will poke that free, and Ramage recovers behind his own net. Ryan Craig, who will head to the front of the net. Ramage, Tynan, Sidlowski, Milano. Those are your power players for Cleveland. Left wing entry, pop back Ramage's way. D-to-D right side, Sidlowski waits, high slot. With it there, TJ Tynan gonna shoot one through a screen. Saved by Copley, poked out of harm's way at the last moment. And now Milano will dump below the goal line. Closed off on was Craig on the end boards around to Tynan on the half wall. Drops one back, Ramage a drive, and that one missed wide to the right of Copley. Recovered on the left wall by Milano. Out top, Ramage fires. This one took a turn off a leg in front into the near corner where Craig pursues, but Ellis comes up with it, and Chicago going to get a clearance here. Their first to the power play with only 45 seconds left on the penalty to Agostino.
A couple of good shots there. I like what the Monsters were doing there on that power play. Getting shots through. They had traffic in front. Craig was in front. Sidlowski was in the high slot.
Second power play unit out now, and a turnover for Cleveland's Dean Kukin. Into the O-zone right side. Magnus Payarvi had the primary assist on Ellis's lone goal of the game. It's one poke to the near corner, and Cleveland takes over. Just 15 seconds left now in the power play as the Monsters dig out of their own zone. Puke into the right. It's Bjorkstrand through center, weaving through traffic, and unable to enter the zone cleanly. Touched back inside the Monster line in the final moments of the Agostino hook. Up the right side, Bjorkstrand touched ahead. Again, the Wolves in the right position to make the play.
They do a good job at their blue line, really standing up. There's no lanes to go through. You're going to have to dump it and go chase it.
Full head of steam for Justin Scott. Fights through a little slash there from Vince Dunn down into the near corner. Chicago takes away. We approach the midway mark of this first period with the Wolves up 1-0. And now back to even strength. The Monsters are 0 for 1 with the extra skater tonight. Loose puck in the top of the Monster zone. Nudged ahead. Maleta trying to win a race. Can't quite get there. It's poked back out to neutral ice. Now Cyphers. He battles with Samuel Blett. And it's back out now for Blett to turn. He had 2 goals on Thursday in that 4-2 win for the Wolves. Here is Scott. Leads behind him near side of the Monster zone. 10:15 remaining here first period. 1-0 for the Wolves. Here's McNeil leaving into the corner. Quick turning, firing opportunity from Bled. And that went off of Corpusalo for a solid save. Scott in the near circle of his own zone. Up ice to Mutri. Taps past Dunn. Clears his end. Doesn't get much further. McNeil up the left side for Chicago. Samuel Bled. He'll drop one in off the outside of the Monsters' net. Corpusalo watches it play to the far corner. Friesen takes it away from Siebenthaler. Now Vaughn to the point. Ellis, his shot blocked. Inakainen couldn't track it down high slot. And now Cyphers will nudge from just in front of his own goal crease as a broken stick there sends the Monsters down a skater figuratively. And now the guy who broke his stick, Bjorkstrand motors. He's got a breakaway to the forehand. Oh, poke check Copley. And what a chance for Cleveland, wiped away by an aggressive Chicago goaltender. Now to the left circle, Vaughn as the play continues. That's stopped with the right leg of Corpusalo. Jock, what a chance for Bjorkstrand, and it comes after he breaks his stick in his own zone.
Well, fortunate bounce. The Monsters it was 5-on-4 basically for Chicago, and the shot from the point went off a defender and bounced all the way to Bjorkstrand, who just changed his stick at the bench, and he went in for a breakaway.
Puck into the Cleveland bench. Bjorkstrand, the All-Star, a near miss. It's still 1-0 Chicago in the first on the Monsters Hockey Network.
Kenny Rhoda welcoming you back to Quicken Loans Arena. Here's what's coming your way during the NovaCare Rehabilitation first period intermission. We'll grab one of the Monsters players just off the ice. We'll talk about the first 20 minutes of action here tonight. It's Indians Tribute Night, and Andrew Miller's going to stop by and chat with us. Plus, we'll take a look at the stats and the highlights from the first 20 minutes of action. But right now, back upstairs with the guys calling the game, Tony and Jock.
Well, thank you very much, Kenny. A good look there at Oliver Bjorkstrand, an AHL All-Star, the team's leading goal scorer, and just shy of a tying goal on a breakaway moments before we stepped aside. Jock, 12 goals, 20 points last year. Talk about a storybook season for Bjorkstrand. Sets some AHL records in the playoffs, scores a championship-clinching goal. We'll learn more about him in our second intermission tonight, but man, what a player, and his development taking its next step this season.
Yes, and that's a guy you want on that breakaway. If you want anyone on the Monsters on a breakaway, it'd be Oliver Bjorkstrand. But Copley made a nice job of poke checking that away.
Just anticipating and not stepping back, stepping forward. Always helpful. Here's Mutri. Sharp angle shot. Good save. Copley. Rebound to Mutri below the goal line. Back with just 8:20 remaining here in this first period. Chicago still up 1-0, but this game is evened out some. Monsters winning the shot battle 8-6. Here's Mutri again. Long wrister, and Copley way out of his net. Makes the save. No rebound. And it stays 1-0 for now with an ozone faceoff. Coming up, Nick Mutri's another guy that was part of that group that were rookies last year, winning a championship in their first season, and he's trying to take the next step this year. He's been a consistent presence in the top 6 for the Monsters, and with his big body, he can play a lot of roles on a team like this.
Yeah, he's played really well tonight so far. Really, he's banging, and he's got quite a few shots. The Nick didn't play a lot last half of last year, but he's really stepped up this year.
Milano skated one all the way from the near side to the far side of the old zone, then lost control. Here is Lindboom. Up now, but Scott forces a turnover, left circle. Milano darts into the fray and angles one below the goal line to Craig. Attempted to center that one through to Scott. And Chicago takes over. 3-on-2 for the Wolves. Here's Bryce Gervais into the O-zone. Couldn't do much with that chance as Stevenaller stepped into it. Up the near wall now. Monsters will tap to center. Scott feeds it Milano's way. He's closed off on. Nice line taken on that play by Dunn. Then ducks through traffic. Still has control of the puck. Little give and go feed, and Dunn does it himself with a nifty play out of his own end as Chicago dumps in. Corpusalo leaves behind the net. Here is Dean Kukin for Cleveland. He'll connect with Tynan. Up ice now. Good tip play at center by Bjorkstrand to feed Hannakainen. Just ahead of him, and Marcus goes barreling into the corner. Great boost to get him back. 7 call-ups to NHL Columbus this year for Hannakainen. And always a welcome presence when he's in the lineup.
A lot of miles on I-71 and then in the air going to wherever the Blue Jackets are on the road.
And no complaints from a guy trying to break into the NHL.
All smiles always with Marcus.
In the O-zone, here's McEachern for Chicago. Leaves behind him. Vaught back to McEachern. Good save, Corpusalo. Then he wipes away the centering feed, but Ellis recovers on the right point. High slot McEachern feeds into the far corner. The Wolves churning here out to the center blue. McNeil in the drive. That missed the net. Hoping for a deflection that didn't come, and now the Monsters have it on the far wall. Hannakainen lobs one ahead. Bjorkstrand, another breakaway. Forehand. What a save by Copley. Left toe stop and a whistle at center for an injured Wolf. Maybe a penalty coming, but Bjorkstrand another chance and another great save.
I think Juvenka, great save by Copley. He just stayed with Bjorkstrand. I thought he had him. He had to get it up, but Copley got his leg on it. But I think Juvenka behind the play, two-handed freezing behind the leg. They were having a little battle in their own zone, but not a good penalty to take.
Well, you see Bjorkstrand here. If he can elevate that puck maybe another 2 inches, that's easily in the net. Nice move from Oliver. And so Juvenka is off. 2 great opportunities for Bjorkstrand. Don't be surprised if you see him cash in on his next chance if he's 0 for 2.
Well, he's moving tonight. His legs are going. I thought he had a strong game on Wednesday also. He's a streaky scorer, so if he gets 1, he may get 2.
And forgive the analogy here, but it is Indians night. That kind of play made a nice move, near miss, kind of like one of those hard hit line drives into the outfield, just hit to the wrong spot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the ball hard. Okay, Monsters' first penalty kill upcoming now with the Juvenka penalty. And I have to confess, Jock, I was watching the breakaway. I was not watching center ice, but Friesen certainly seemed to be in pain, and the Monsters now will be down a man for the first time for cross-checking.
I saw a little bit of it before Bjorkstrand got it. It was in front of our net, and Friesen kind of pushed Juvenka into the corner. It could have been interference, actually, and Juvenka took exception, and he followed him up the ice. I think he maybe thought he saw.
Guys in the truck have a great look at this one, and that's pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
That's Oleg Juvenka, though. I mean, you poke the bear pokes back.
Yeah.
Cross-checks back, in fact. So the 6'7" Belarusian looks on. John Madden with an explanation, whether he likes it or not, from one of our officials tonight. That's one of the 2 referees, Chris Schlenker. And Madden is, taking his time in making his case.
Yeah, I know he's not happy about something, but...
Now play allowed to continue while that conversation was still happening.
The Monsters are going to be down another man. Hetherington fired it up into the stands, trying to fire it off the glass and out.
Delay a game against Dylan Hetherington. That was odd, though. Shouldn't the other referee stop what he's doing and signal that play should continue before the puck is dropped?
Yeah.
Regardless, now it is a very difficult position for the Monsters as they find themselves down 2 skaters. So the first penalty kill of the night turns into the second instantaneously. And this Wolves power play, Jock, is nothing to sneeze at. 8th best in the league, 21.2%. 0 for 10 in the season series, but dangerous and with many weapons.
Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower on their first unit, but they'll have a couple units come at you.
ARV below the goal line, 5-on-3 power play for a full 2 minutes, essentially, here for Chicago. Big drive. That one might have got a piece of the left goal post after finding Corpusalo. Ends up the left point for the Monsters' all-time leading scorer, Andrew Agazzino. Now, the Chicago Wolf. In the near corner, it's Payarvi. He'll feed far side, tucking in front. That was Agostino. And now angled off the far wall to Agazzino. Near side, Schmaltz will reel in for the Wolves. Out top, he'll feed the near circle and Payarvi. Out top, Agazzino, one-timer, he scores. Power play goal for Chicago. And Andrew Agazzino has done that in this building quite a bit in his career. This time, he's wearing the wrong color uniform. 2-0 for Chicago.
Yeah, a nice shot here, one-timer. He just fires it up over Korpisello's glove, but he wasted no time getting that away. And Agazzino was a fan favorite here. He always worked hard and played very well for the Monsters. Had a little off season last year in San Antonio. Didn't have one of his better seasons, but has come back this year and he's playing well for the Wolves.
Power play goal for Chicago, 10th of the year for Agazzino at 14:21 of this first period. Give the primary assist to Payarvi. He's got 2 already tonight. And that only ends the Evenko minor. Still a minute plus remaining on the Hetherington penalty. And so the Monsters still killing. 5:25 remaining in the first. Cleveland trying to get back to even strength. This puck offside, though, came over the line on Butler, the Chicago captain. And so 1 minute still left on the Hetherington minor. 5:22 left in the first period. So if you can get through this next minute, Jock, how important is it to score 1 goal at least before you get to the intermission?
Well, I don't know if you have to score a goal, but you definitely have to change the momentum somehow and get some energy going on the offense, because it's going to be a tough. They dug themselves a hole here, and they got to start digging out, and you got to start by just getting some momentum, getting some hits, getting some forecheck going, and getting some more chances on Copley.
So the Monsters give up a goal in the 5-on-3, dealing with a 5-on-4 now. Hannakainen, Tynan, Cyphers, Kukin. Those are the penalty killers for Cleveland. Upended far side. Hannakainen lucky there. Got away with what looked like it could have been a trip if the situation was different. Lofted ahead by Tynan. Copley stashes behind, and Butler will wind things up for Chicago. 30 seconds left in the Hetherington delay-a-game minor. Out to center. It's 2-0 for the Wolves. Early goal for the defenseman Morgan Ellis, followed up by Agazzino on the power play. Butler, good spinning centering feed in transition there. Deflects back now on the left point to Ivan Barbashev. And across to the center blue, it's tossed to the far corner. Working one down the half boards. Weaving into the circle there. Good stick from Scott as he deflected one away. And all the way back down. Hetherington penalty comes to an end. The Monsters now 1 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. 2-0 Chicago, and in the final 4+ minutes here for Cleveland, the goal is offense. Here's Sean Siglowski down the right boards. To the front of the net, tipped by Pendenza, just wide left on Copley. Round to the far wall, Pendenza pursues. To the left point, it's Evenko. Waits, thinks it over, finds Cyphers, struggled a bit there. Into the slot where it's intercepted by the Wolves. And in the opposite direction, here comes Bryce Gervais. Into the middle, it's Sterling. He had a goal, a nice tip on Thursday night. The second Chicago goal, and now Monsters get away with another penalty there.
I think it could have been a dive there. Sterling was grabbing the Monsters' stick, and then he had it pulled it up to himself and then just fell to try to draw a penalty.
Kicked his legs out. So Paul Bittner not victimized with that piece of gamesmanship, and now this puck deflects out of play off Sterling. Face-off will come to center with 3:31 remaining in the first. That when we come back, Chicago has a 2-0 lead thanks to Andrew Agazzino. Familiar face strikes in Cleveland. The Wolves in front. Welcome back inside the Q. Chicago Wolves holding a 2-0 lead late in the first on your Cleveland Monsters. Hey fans, every Friday night home game is a Blue Jackets night at the Q. Your Monsters will wear Blue Jackets themed jerseys, and you can enjoy $1 Pepsis, $2 Sugardale hot dogs, and $3 draft beer specials. Visits also on 1-2-3 Friday. For more information, call 216-420-0000 or visit clevelandmonsters.com. Monsters hockey is powered by Constellation. Monsters looking to get on the scoreboard here at the end of the first period. Alongside Jock, Callander, Tony Brown back with you upstairs here at Quicken Loans Arena. 3.5 minutes left in this first frame. Jonas Korpisalo, 2 goals allowed on 9 shots. Meanwhile, Phoenix Copley, 11 saves on 11 pucks faced in net for the Wolves. Chicago back to work offensively off the draw. Rising shot, clacked off the plexiglass, around to the near side. Vaughn gets away from Hetherington. His centering feed bounces below the goal line now. Hetherington and Siebenthaler can't collect it. Picked up there and walked to the center blue by McEachern. He'll fire. Go wide of Korpisalo. Sharp angle chance. Blocker save for Jonas on Petteri Lindboom. And Lindboom controls below the goal line as the defenseman joins the play. When you have Scooter Vaughn, a converted defenseman on the wing, it allows you to get down into the O-zone if you're Lindboom. Tipped by Vaughn over to the far side. And now behind the net, McEachern lets it squirt through. Monsters struggling to exit their own zone here. Mutri off the glass, flicks one ahead. Chased after by Broadhurst. Monsters change. Here's Agazino. He's got the latest goal for Chicago. Came on the power play earlier in the period. Now 2.5 minutes, all that remains. As this centered through from the end boards, and now we've got another penalty coming from behind the play, well behind the play, in fact, and McNeil nearly into the Monsters bench there. We'll see who's going to be down a man. Looks like Broadhurst and the Monsters.
The Monsters have to have more discipline than this if they're getting, no, they're both getting one, so a lot of stuff going on around the benches, but it's funny how that happens when Gallant's out of the lineup.
No Gallant, no Mike Brown either. It's really up to Oleg Givenko tonight.
Yeah, it sure changes when old Brett Gallant's out of the lineup.
Yeah, the math is a little different.
Yeah, the brave item is.
Well, so it looks like Dunn, not McNeil, off, and Broadhurst also now heading down the tunnel here for Cleveland. 2:22 remaining in this first period. Ryan Craig is receiving an explanation from Steve Renault, one of the referees tonight. And from what we can infer from lip reading and gestures from up here, there's very little clarity as to what happened. Again, well behind the play. So we'll take a look now. I'm told we've got a glance at the penalty taken by Chicago. You see Broadhurst tripped up there. Done.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they were giving him one there, though. I think they waited till the bench when they were hitting each other. I think Broadhurst took exception. Bang Dunn, and then Dunn hit him back, and I think they both got, we'll see if it's a trip, but if it's both roughing, and
take a peek. 5 minutes on the board for Broadhurst. That's why his period is over while Dunn's in the penalty box with 2:22 remaining in the first here. So it won't be a power play, at least not right away for Chicago, but it looks like their third power play chance is coming up here and will likely carry over to the middle frame.
Well, the Monsters need to have more discipline. That's 2 undisciplined penalties right there, and you can't do that against a good team.
So 2:22 left in the first. 4-on-4 hockey here with Chicago up 2-0. And the Monsters win a face-off in their own zone, and Kukin tries to get around a forecheck there from Magnus Payarvi. Out of his own end. Good pass ahead from Ramage to Tynan. Tynan with speed. Fires! And that one got through. Copley off the outside of the net, though. Kukin into the far corner. Poked away from him by Schmaltz. In the slot, Wade Megan, tied for second in the league with 21 goals this year. Scored the game winner on Thursday. Inside of 2 minutes left in the first. Here's Megan. Swivels away from a hit on the near wall by Ramage. Spinning and firing Payarvi. Korpisalo the save. And Ramage now, hounded by Megan, leaves for Kukin in the far corner. Kukin, nice evasive maneuver there to find some space. Now Bjorkstrand into the O-zone, but dangled right on that blue line, and so offside for the Monsters. And got to get across the line before you start moving laterally.
Yeah, he was forced. The defenseman was standing up. He tried to cut across, and just caught his teammate squeaking across quick.
So now Hannakainen out, and will take this face-off for Cleveland. Don't see that often. Pulled back, though, as it's 4-on-4 with 90 seconds remaining in this first period. In about a minute, Chicago's going to have a power play for 3 minutes. They're 1 for 2. Good hip check by Ellis there on the left wing entry by Hetherington. Taken away, and Milano reads a play nicely. Able to peel it off Agostino's stick there. Risky maneuver as he was the defenseman covering for Hetherington, but gets away with it. Now the Monsters and Cyphers start out of their own zone. Drop feed back to Milano. That's where he's most effective with a full head of steam coming through center. 1 minute remains here in this first period. Hannakainen took a pass from Milano. Back to the wall and into the corner. Milano in his offensive zone dances free of Petteri Lindboom. In behind the cage now. Runs out of real estate on the near side. Cycles into the corner. Hannakainen gets rubbed out along the near dasher. Hannakainen now Milano, beg pardon, spun against the grain. McNeil feeds one far side. Quicken pinches, but can't pick up the puck. 12 seconds left in the Chicago penalty. 30 seconds left in the period. Still 2-0 for the Wolves.
Good job by Quicken. He was caught up ice, but he caught everyone and came back and ended up taking the puck away from the Wolves.
Here's Quicken into the old zone. He'll lead behind with 20 seconds left. Bjorkstrand fires, and that was a good look for Copley there. One that grazed his right shoulder. All the way back now for Quicken to touch to Ramage in the final 10 seconds. Penalty over for Chicago. 3-minute power play for the Wolves. Their third. It will carry over by the looks of things to the second period. As 2 seconds left and one. And the horn sounds in a great opening period if you're the visitors from Chicago, and if you're the Monsters, it's an uphill climb in the second frame as it's 2-0 Wolves through 20 minutes of play.
Well, the Monsters are going to have to go in the dressing room here, get regrouped, and come out and kill this 2:38. You don't want to give the Wolves a 3-0 lead, but you're going to have to kill this and try to gain some momentum before the start of the second period.
Hey fans, text Monsters to 720-720 to get mobile alerts sent directly to your phone. That's MONSTERS to 720-720 for score updates, special promotions, and more. So the Wolves a 2-0 lead. If you're Chicago and Craig Berube, their head coach, you got to be really pleased. You score the goal to sort of, grab some momentum in the early going. You take advantage of a 5-on-3 power play. They've checked all the boxes. For Cleveland, though, what looked to be a pretty strong start with a couple of good scoring chances, suddenly you look up and you're down by 2 goals here. It's going to have to be a quick start once you get through, as you mentioned, Jock, this penalty kill.
Yeah, they definitely have to focus on the kill first because Chicago's power play is good, and then go from there.
Let's send it downstairs to Kenny.
With the captain, Ryan Craig. Ryan, not the greatest of periods for you guys. What didn't you do well there?
Our discipline wasn't good enough. We had some good things, put some pucks towards the net. Obviously, we want more in the offensive zone, but we got to be more disciplined in our game all around.
How important is it to kill off this penalty to start the second period, maybe gain some momentum from that?
Yeah, it's done is done. The first period's over. We're looking to come out and win the second. It starts with a big, 3-minute kill.
You guys have been down before like this. Do you go back and try and draw from those experience, being down, coming back, and getting a win?
Sure. I think we know that there's 40 minutes left. We know that our job is to prepare ourselves for the next 20 and see where we are heading into the third. But, we have full confidence in our group. We just need to clean up some things.
Got to ask you, I know it's not the best time, but I got to ask you about getting selected to the All-Star team. What's that mean to you? This is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you.
Yeah, a great honor for myself and my family. Couldn't have done it without my teammates and the organization.
Krager, we appreciate the time. Good luck the next 2 periods.
Thank you.
Monsters with some work to do, down 2-0 after 1 to Chicago. Stay tuned. We've got more of the NovaCare Rehabilitation first period intermission coming your way next on the Monsters Hockey Network. Kenny Rhoda welcoming you back to Quicken Loans Arena for the NovaCare Rehabilitation first period intermission. The Monsters trail the Wolves 2-0 after 1. And guys, we'll get to that in a second. The Monsters obviously with some work to do. But Jock, I want to ask you something. Playing at the highest level, winning championships and all that. But what was it like for you when you got to meet athletes from other sports who came to watch you play and really appreciated your sport and kind of vice versa?
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice to meet those guys, and you respect what they did, and it's nice that they're able to come and enjoy your game and tell you what they feel about hockey. A lot of other athletes really enjoy hockey because of the speed and the skill it takes to play the game.
And I think it's cool, Kenny, because last year was not about the Monsters, the Cavs, the Indians. It was about Cleveland and Cleveland sports fans sharing and all of that. So to have the American League pennant winners in the house with the Calder Cup champs, just a cool way to put a bow on a year that will never be forgotten in this region.
And you know what was cool down here, guys? You didn't get to see it, but before they dropped the puck, the Mullet brothers came out, right? So they got a photo with the Indians players, and the talk, of course, went to the movie Slapshot. Even the baseball players know about Slapshot, Jocko.
Yeah, everyone's seen that. We watch it probably 3 times a year on the bus for sure.
One of the best.
Tony, it's always fun to see other guys from other sports talking about that and reciting lines and everything. You feel shame and all of that. So it's a movie that transcends sports, I guess.
Oh, man, Kenny, are you kidding me? One of the best sports movies of all time, the best hockey movie of all time, but just an all-time classic. It's always fun, and everybody knows all the lines. Reg Dunlop and the boys made a lasting mark.
Hey guys, I'll throw it back up to you to take a look at the stats, the highlights, a couple of almost goals. The Monsters with some work to do, so take it away.
Thank you very much, Kenny, and you're absolutely right. It is a 2-0 lead for Chicago as we look at the highlights here. And the Monsters had their chances, but first let's look at how Chicago got on the board. Nice play by Magnus Payarvi here to feed Ellis in transition for the finish. That was less than 5 minutes into the game. From there, a 5-on-3 power play led to a goal for Andrew Agazzino, former Monster, current Wolf, back of the net, 2-0 for the visitors. The theme the rest of the way, Jock, pretty simple for the Monsters. From the opening face-off, lots of opportunities, none of them in the back of the net.
Yeah, Copley had a strong period, a couple fan shots. Bjorkstrand had 2 breakaways, which you love to see, but that guy getting breakaways. And then just, the Monsters taking a couple undisciplined penalties, but here's Bjorkstrand's second breakaway and a great save by Copley, who's had a strong first period.
So not all discouraging stuff for Cleveland. The fact that they've been so close to scoring several times, I mean, any of those could have been goals. They just weren't. You mentioned the undisciplined hockey down the stretch there. The penalty minutes certainly favoring the Monsters right now, and it's another power play for Chicago to start the second period here. And I got to tell you, for Cleveland, it's very simple. Do not allow a power play goal to start this period.
Yeah, you gotta start with some momentum, and a good kill will do that. But the Monsters, they just cannot put too much pressure. Their penalty killing has been good all year, but they can't put too much pressure and keep taking dumb penalties, because the dumb penalties are the ones that come back to haunt you.
And for Alex Broadhurst, they spell an end to his night tonight with a misconduct for spearing. That's the official word on the penalty for 25 for Cleveland. Okay, let's revisit now our Jeep Legendary keys to the game. Fancy your Jeep dealer today. Experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability. The Monsters play well defensively. Jock, have they done that?
Well, I think for the most part, the first goal, the puck jumped on Siebenauer, and then they got a 5-on-3. I mean, that's a special team, but 5-on-3 is a little different than your regular power play.
Certainly is. Special teams goaltending. Really, it's an incomplete for the Monsters in the first period. We'll see what they can do to start the middle frame. 2-0 Chicago after one. Middle frame next. The puck drops when we come back on the Monsters Hockey Network. On Cleveland Indians Tribute Night. Welcome inside Quicken Loans Arena. The Chicago Wolves spoiling the party so far through one period. They've got a 2-0 lead. That man right there, Jonas Korpisalo, good 3-week or so stint in the NHL with the Columbus Blue Jackets, back for his first AHL start in some time. Getting some work is Korpisalo. And Jock Callander, what'd you make of his performance through the first 20 minutes?
Well, pretty good. He made a couple good saves. I thought he fought the puck a couple times, but I don't know if there was much he could do on the goals. They were quick happening, couple quick shots, which is always tough on a goalie. In a 5-on-3, you got to react. The puck movement's quick, and then Agazzino just one-timed it, so it was tough.
We'll send it downstairs now for thoughts from Kenny Rhoda.
Guys, I just talked with John Madden. I said, give me your thoughts after a period like that. He said, hey, we had some chances. We had some breakaways. We had some rebounds. We didn't find the back of the net. It all comes down to discipline. We've got to be more disciplined. You can't give a team with a power play like this that many opportunities, so we got to kill this penalty off and go from there.
Simple as that. Thank you very much, Kenny. There is John Madden. He's a guy who would have been on the ice right now in his playing career. Masterful penalty killer, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Selke Trophy winner. He knows how to get this done for the next 2:38. That is how long the Monsters will be shorthanded to begin the middle stanza. Puck down at center, underway in period 2 with Cleveland trailing Chicago 2-0. From the queue in Cleveland, the Monsters in their Navy Indians-themed jerseys here are from right to left in the second, and Chicago from left to right in white, alongside Jock Callander and Kenny Rhoda. Tony Brown here with you on the Monsters Hockey Network.
Chicago getting a slash here.
Now, good break for Cleveland there. How about that?
That's a good momentum change. Getting back to Coach Madden, we had a great some great discussions today with Toby Peterson, Daryl Seward,
video
Steve
coach
McCarthy about the top 100 NHL players, which was quite cool to see. We were all watching, and everyone's got their opinions. John Madden had quite a few stories because he played with and against quite a few of those guys, and it was a really neat conversation today.
Well, so now kind kind of a strange situation. The Monsters go back to 4-on-4 for the remainder of this penalty against Vince Dunn, and then they'll be shorthanded again on the tail end for 18 seconds. But 4-on-4 beats 4-on-5. As the puck down in the Wolves zone, Chicago has control.
At least their power play percentage won't go down because they won't have an 18-second power play. That's the one thing in hockey that I always don't understand. The percentages should be figured out by minutes instead of, because sometimes you get a
5-second power.
Yeah, 5-second power play.
Counts the same as a 4-minute power.
Yeah, you go 0 for 1, and it's like, there goes your percentages, so it's a little skewed.
Well, because neither team has a power play right now, that last play was icing. The faceoff comes back inside the defensive zone for the Monsters. TJ Tynan takes the draw against Magnus Pajärvi. Tynan, ever the steady presence up front, top center on this Monsters team. Happy to have his left wing, Marcus Hannikainen, back from the NHL. Here's Hannikainen, hard wrister there, blockered away by Phoenix Copley. Monsters won the shot battle in period 1, but trailed 2-0. Here's Pajärvi into the offensive zone. Leaves behind him on the left point. Walked down towards the corner by McNeil. Back to Pajärvi now, and he'll leave, this time for Morgan Ellis. Assistant captain for the Wolves taps into the far corner, ricochets to the right side, and it will be Hetherington behind his own net to collect for Cleveland. And now, I think we've got matching penalties here, as Seifert will head off, as will Samuel Bleff for, well, beg pardon, I think that might be Gervais for Chicago.
It's getting a little bit chippy here. I guess 2 games against each other in the same few days. Guys are starting to get irritated with each other.
Let's take a look at this last rush up ice for Marcus Hannikainen right off the draw. And here's what he provides, Jock. That quickness up ice, that work ethic, and it turns into a pretty good chance.
Yeah. But here's
the play.
Cyphers pushes Gervais. I don't know. Or was it Gervais or was it Dunn?
Well, Dunn's already in the penalty box.
So it's
I think I was right the first time. It was Samuel Bleff. Good luck with that. Pushed into the far corner. Offsetting penalties, so no manpower advantage. Here's Bjorkstrand for Pendenzo. Quick opportunity. Lindboom, a good poke check, wiped it away.
You gotta get that puck away quick there. You gotta right in the slot. You don't have time.
Pendenzo to Bjorkstrand to Kukin. Sorry about that, Jock. Here's Bjorkstrand. Oh, right off the mask of Copley. Loose in front. Pendenzo could not get it to go, and then tipped out of the Monsters' offensive zone by Negan. And all the way down, will Kukin win the race? No icing. And Pope to the far corner now, where Scott feeds Kukin below the goal line. Bjorkstrand, snake bit tonight. 2 breakaways, and then he fires one between Copley's eyes. Dumps one in now. Just over 2 minutes into the second period as McNeil blows a tire loose in front. They score! Leaning outside the blue paint, it's Justin Scott, and the Monsters on the board. It's 2-1.
Well, McNeil's still looking for something that he slipped on behind the net. He was searching because he wiped out. Bjorkstrand took advantage, grabbed the puck, and made a quick feed to Scott, and Copley didn't have a chance on that one.
Sometimes it's lucky breaks like that can swing the momentum in the game for Justin Scott. Here at 2:14 of this second period, the beneficiary of bad luck for McNeil, and it was Bjorkstrand that made the nice play below the goal line to pick up the lone assist.
Well, you see Oliver Bjorkstrand, he was on the forecheck. If he doesn't go in there hard on the forecheck, he probably doesn't force McNeil into going back quick, and he just wipes out. And Bjorkstrand's right on top of him to get the puck out to Scott.
It's like he just blew an edge there. He can take that up with his equipment manager, I guess. And Justin Scott picks up his 9th of the season. Nice little rookie campaign for Justin
Scott. He's really starting to put the puck in the net. He scored a lot of goals in junior, and he's starting to find his touch here in pro. It sometimes takes a while, but like I said earlier, him and Mileta both have impressed me with their improvement this year and how they're adapting to the game.
And both guys, like Blake Siebenaller, undrafted out of the OHL. Guys that, you wondered what you'd get out of them in their rookie season. And frankly, the faith placed in them by Columbus has been really validated by their play throughout the start of their rookie season.
Well, it's good pickups. Like, it's a free draft pick when you sign a free agent on a junior, a strong there's nothing wrong with taking a look at someone for a year.
Jake Graves, a guy like that too, that's been a depth option for the Monsters in the back end this year. Back to work now after the Scott goal. And how big is that goal now as it's back to even strength in 5-on-5 to change the momentum like we talked about? It really alters the complexion of the entire game. And while the Monsters still trail, as this one will be iced by Hetherington, it still, changes the vibe here and kind of wipes away what was not the greatest first period for Cleveland.
Well, yeah, we talked about that penalty being a big kill right off the start, and what the Monsters did was draw a penalty and wiped out that penalty quicker than we thought, and then got the momentum right from there.
Hey fans, bring your group to the queue for a Monsters hockey game. Why? Because group tickets start at just $10 a seat and include fantastic perks. For more information on group tickets, call 216-420-2500 or visit clevelandmonsters.com. Monsters hockey is powered by Constellation. Justin Scott powering a potential comeback for Cleveland here. It's 2-1. Chicago in front. 3 minutes gone in this second period. Scott from Bjorkstrand at 2:14. Even strength goal for Scott, is 9th of the year. Shot from well out, toe save Korpisalo, loose to the near wall. Now it's done from the right point for the Wolves. He'll step down the dasher towards the front of the net, off the stick of Bleakley there, and then hammered around for Hannakainen, who cannot clear the zone. Good stick lift there from Tynan. Looks for a pass from Hannakainen. Instead, Siebenaller is the safety valve, and now Yavenko up ice. And that pass attempt will go all the way down. Race won by Lindboom for icing and a face-off back in the Monsters' defensive zone. So we now know that because of a 5-minute major for Spearing, Broadhurst night is effectively over and done with. How does that change things up front for Cleveland? Broadhurst on the left wing of that third line, a power play option. Now he's not available.
Well, that shortens Coach Madden's bench, and he's got to do some flip-flopping around and find someone to take that spot if he wants to still roll 4. Someone's going to have to get double shifted a little bit here and there. He'll mix the lines up.
Chance for Chicago and a sharp angle opportunity at that from the far circle. And saved by Korpisalo. Let's take a look now at the Central Division standings as to where these two teams stack up here. You've got Cleveland kind of battling now all of a sudden with Iowa. Hang on to that 4th spot with Grand Rapids, Milwaukee, and Chicago separating themselves a little bit. And of course, Cleveland, right now you might look at this and say, oh, they're in playoff position. One of the top 4 teams in the division. Not necessarily. Depends on what happens out west in the Pacific Division. If one of the 5th or 6th seeded teams, whatever, outside of the picture in the Pacific has a better record than the 4th place team in the Central, when all said and done, it's that team that will make the playoffs.
And right now, Stockton is a couple percentage points ahead of the Monsters.
Another icing call against Cleveland here. Face-off back in the Monsters D zone. The story of the night on Indians night are these uniforms, and TJ Tynan and Coach Madden, well, they weighed in this morning.
These are pretty cool. I've never worn anything like this before, so obviously with the great year that they had, it's going to be a cool tribute, and it'll be something unique for sure that I'll remember.
It was different when we got on the ice this morning for morning skate, but they look good, and it's a great honor. But at the same time, I was hoping I'd get a uniform to wear on the bench, just like the managers do in baseball, but they didn't have one for me.
Disappointment there for Coach Madden. Rough ride near wall for Bjorkstrand in the ozone after a great entry and rush there. Then a finished hit by Ramage on the far wall as he got a big piece of Wade Megan there. Tucking into the far corner, the Wolves send it. That's the deal, Jocko. If you're the coach, if you're Terry Francona, you wear a uniform. It's a quirk of baseball.
Yeah.
So hopefully John Madden maybe can bid on one of these jerseys on the concourse and take home a souvenir tonight.
Well, it definitely saves on the managers in the baseball on their suit budget. They don't have to, if you're a hockey coach, you don't want to wear the same suit every night on the bench. See the same suit, so you got to have a little selection. But the manager, they don't have to worry about that. They save some money.
Let's send it downstairs for a quick note from Kenny.
Guys, funny that you're talking about that because Andrew Miller and I were discussing it, and he's like, where's the coach at? And I said, there he is. He's walking in the locker room right now. He goes, he looks weird in a suit. We don't see that. Our guy's usually wearing a hoodie or a uniform that's too tight for him, so it looks nice to see these guys in suits.
You don't think of the suit as a relaxed option, but I suppose
a uniform that's too tight. Was he saying something there?
Well, he and Tito go way back. So I think he's going to be fine. And with his ability, no worries about being available and in the lineup. Here's Maleta into the old zone, trying to send towards the slot there. Intercepted by Blett. He's up ice now for Chicago. Stood up by Hetherington at neutral. Then Cyphers clocks one off the end wall. Touched by Maleta. Round to the far boards where Lutry cannot get out of his defensive zone. Maleta takes now. He'll hammer one off the glass far side. Paul Bittner appears to be picking up Broadhurst minutes for the moment on this line. Up ice, Bittner chops one towards Copley. Gloved by the Wolves netminder and held with 14:23 left in this second period. 2-1 for the Wolves right now. Sorry, Jock, go ahead.
Getting back to Tito, I watched a couple of Cavs games this week, and he was at both of them sitting down. They took camera shots of him. He was having some peanuts and stuff.
Gotta love the off-season,
Make sure that suit fits good next year. He was eating a couple bags of peanuts. And
well, good for him. Soaking up the Cleveland experience for Terry Francona. Doing a great job across the way for the Indians. Saw there Copley. 14 saves tonight on 15 shots faced. He's been very good. A brief call-up to the NHL St. Louis Blues. Back for Thursday's game. Did not play. Billy Husso did a nice job in the win. And Copley's really emerged as the #1 guy here. Jordan Binnington split time with him last year for the Wolves, and Binnington's been a healthy scratch both nights, at least this weekend. Turning shot from Chicago. Korpisalo, good save there. Traffic in front of him, but he hangs on and challenging outside the goal crease there. Makes the save without a rebound.
Well, this team looks like a much different team than when they came in early in the season. The Monsters won both, and the Wolves did not look good at all. And Berube's done a really good job of changing the attitude and how they're playing, because they've changed everything in their team.
We talk a lot about how teams take on sort of the makeup of their head coach when they were a player. This Chicago team is not like Greg Berube was as a player. The nastiness meter is down just a tad, but boy are they skilled and deep up front.
Yeah, they really, but they play a really sound offensive game that you don't have to have everyone skilled, because they drive the net and they shoot pucks and they drive the net.
Odd man rush for Chicago near side. What a save! Korpisalo lays out with the glove stop. My goodness, Jonas dazzling, and this game just a 1-goal difference thanks to Korpisalo's lateral move.
There shows your athletic ability right there.
Is Corby in the zone? Yes. Back inside the queue, Chicago with a 2-1 lead. It could easily have been 3-1, but Jonas Korpisalo with one of his best stops of the season, maybe his pro career. 2-on-1 for the Wolves, and Korpisalo at the same time, Jock, moving from his right to his left, reading the play, but also he doesn't make this amazing stop if he's not aggressive, well out of his goal crease there and cutting down the angle as much as possible.
Yeah, you just saw his athletic ability there, but the Monsters have a turnover, and Korpisalo bails them out there, because that definitely could have been 3-1.
Looked like Cyphers dropped his stick and then paused to pick it up over along the far wall, and that led to the 2-on-1. Out of their own zone now, it is Hannikainen winning a race in the O-end, but he tried to drop it off to Tynan. No one was home, trailing the play. Scooter Vaughn dumps in now for Chicago. 13.5 minutes to go in the second. Still 2-1 for the Wolves. Out the left side of their D zone. Tynan ahead, it's Dean Cooper. Into the offensive end. Flicks one towards Copley. Easy save with the glove. And so time stops with 13:20 remaining here in this second period. Hey fans, thanks to our friends at Musselman's Applesauce, Monsters fans like you have the opportunity to win 4 tickets to a game, 4 spots in the Cave Crew, and $20 in concessions as our Musselman's family of the game. Log on to clevelandmonsters.com/Musselmans to enter to win. Be sure to pick up Musselman's Squeezables at your local grocery store today. 13:18 left, second period. Shots now even at 15 apiece. And a save like that for Korpisalo. We talked about the goal at the start of the second period, lifting things up for Cleveland as a team. A save like that can change a whole night for a goaltender.
Yeah, he shows confidence there, and that is you build on confidence, and you keep getting better. So we've seen Corpy make some big saves the last couple of years, and he seems to get in a zone.
So he has the confidence that comes with a lengthy NHL call-up and being back with the Blue Jackets, but in a game in which he gave up a goal in the early few minutes there, nice to reset with a stop like that one. Nice tip in front by Ryan Craig.
Nice fake by Ramage at the point. He threw his winger off and then got it through.
Great to have the captain back, a 5-game absence. Now an angling feet ahead. Chance for Chicago to the backhand. Oh! Corpusalo got lucky there. And the play and the threat not over. Spinning and firing that one off was Sterling. And Corpusalo stands in. Looked like that puck got through his 5-hole, then found the corner. Here's Milano.
Lenko's got no stick.
Flicking that one out, Milano. With the long change, an obstacle for both teams here. That feathering play was just what the doctor ordered to get tired players off and fresh ones on. Milano left wall offensively into the corner for Mileta. Fights through a check. Taken by Sterling. Touching to the middle. Here's Bryce Gervais. He'll tuck one in. And Chicago will change.
Juvenko didn't have a stick, but I don't see a stick anywhere on the ice, so I'm not sure what happened to it.
Unlike Cyphers there on that last one, he dropped it, couldn't pick it up. Here's Mutri spinning from the end wall. Puck out to the center point. Hetherington gets there to hold the line. Drops one into the corner. Sidlowski now weaves against the grain near side. Tried to spin one in the circle to Mutri. Mileta, Mutri, Sidlowski now. We saw a shift for Bittner. Now Sidlowski getting a chance. Sharp angle opportunity blocked away by Corpusalo. Held on the right point by Dunn. He's roughed up by Hetherington. Good rugged play there from the second-year D-man out of Calgary. And up the left side, touched by Scott to center where Lindboom will control. Into the O-zone again. Chicago relentless. It seems as though Jock, when they get the puck on their back end in a regrouping situation, they are quickly north-south into the offensive zone. Agazino fired. Shot was blocked. Just not hesitating are the Wolves to get off ice.
No, they get the puck wide.
Hetherington just flicked one out of play for the second time tonight. He takes a delay of game. 11:19 left in the second here. Here's another look at the stop for
right through his legs and hits his foot and goes out the outside there
to the far corner. So a little bit of luck. That never hurts, you know?
Yeah, hard work produces luck.
You make your own in this life. There's a look at Hetherington.
It's the second time in there for delay of game, getting the puck up over the glass. You got to be careful there.
So he's less than pleased with that effort, but Monsters have a good penalty kill, and that's why they have it to deal with situations like this. Fourth power play for Chicago. They're 1 for 3. So do the math, a 2 for 3 showing on the kill for Cleveland so far. Wolves with a lead, but only 1 goal. Almost halfway through the second period.
Getting back to the Wolves transition, it all happens. They get puck wide. That guy drives, and the other 2 guys go to the net hard, and they shoot or pass it to the front of the net. They're not making drop passes and fancy crisscrosses. They are going to the net.
Simple is good most of the time. It's an opportunity to feed Tynan there instead. A clearance, and you'll never take one of those for granted from Cyphers all the way down. Copley plays below the goal line. Monsters change penalty killers, and Schmaltz, with 1:20 remaining on this power play, will motor from behind his own net. Off the skate there of Scott. It's Scott and Milano, Kukin, and Olagivenko. Those are the penalty killers for Cleveland. Down to the near side, Juvenko forces it Schmaltz's way. Left point, it's done. He'll drop one back. Schmaltz fills in on the left point. Near side, Agostino, little one-touch pass, and then Milano with a good interception on the back door. Slick play from Agostino, but Milano takes it away. And the Monsters
Milano's done an excellent job penalty killing the last 10 or 15 games since he's been put in there. He had not killed penalties before that time. Coach Madden gave him some responsibility. He seems to be thriving on it. He's played very well at the penalty kill.
Here's Joe Pendenza, a guy that has killed penalties in his day. With speed through center, below the goal line, changes direction, back to the right point. Down the wall aggressively is Ramage here. He'll push below the goal line, now Pendenza pursues. That same spot in the ice that victimized McNeil this time causes Agazino to wipe out. But the Wolves don't have to pay for it. And to center it comes with just 15 seconds left on the kill for Cleveland. Here is Cyphers. Hetherington on his feet in the box. He'll step back out onto the ice in 5 seconds. Chicago, the Birds are going 1 for 4 on the power play. Hetherington's out, and that's exactly what they've done. 3 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight for Cleveland.
Very good job on that PK right there. Chicago not getting much of anything.
That Agazino pass was about as close as they came to a scoring chance. And now the Wolves respond by icing the puck here with 9:02 remaining in period 2. 2-1 for Chicago. Hey fans, your Good Hands agents at Allstate want you to vote on the best Monsters Good Hands Plays of the Week for your chance to win autographed merchandise, Monsters tickets, and other prizes. Visit clevelandmonsters.com/Allstate to vote and to learn how to save money on your home, auto, and life insurance from Allstate.
That Monsters goal has kind of livened this crowd up. It's a nice big crowd here for Indians Tribute Night.
Off the draw, big drive, Siebenoller put everything into that clap from the center blue, just missed the net wide, off the glass, plugged on the left kick plate. Hannakainen low for Bjorkstrand, that shot saved by Copley, rebound over the stick of Hannakainen, swivels away from a body check, gets past Bled, Tynan took a high stick, left point, Siebenoller, his shot blocked, no call on that high stick for Tynan, and up the near wall now, Chicago will push to center, and this one touched out of the air by Bled. And played with a high stick was that puck, and Chicago the next to touch it. So a immediate timeout. 8:33 left in the second period. The Monsters come close to tying, but still trail 2-1.
Welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena. I'm Kenny Rhoda. Here's what's coming your way during the Car Parts Warehouse second period intermission. As they head to the locker room, we'll grab one of the Monsters players. We'll break down the first 40 minutes of action here tonight. We'll also take a look at the rise of Oliver Bjorkstrand as he continues to excel. And we'll take a look at the first 2 periods, the highlights, the stats, all that good stuff. But right now, let's send it back upstairs to Tony and Jock. Guys?
Thanks so much, Kenny. 8:33 remains in period number 2. The Chicago Wolves a 2-1 lead on the Monsters. And now Cleveland back to 5-on-5 after killing another penalty successfully. Lofting one ahead. Yavenko tries to connect with Craig. Monsters looking for that tying goal. Scooter Vaughn down the right wall for Chicago. Nice poke check from Yavenko. The long reach comes in handy from time to time. Poked one away from Vaughn there, and a puck ends up out of play. 8:10 left in this second period. The shots right down the middle. Jock 16-16. Monsters with that huge goal at the start of the second period there from Scott, assisted by Bjorkstrand. You mentioned in the break, Oliver Bjorkstrand's got to be up near 6-7 shots on goal tonight. He has been one of the most impactful forwards for Cleveland.
Yeah, anytime he's in the offensive zone, he's dangerous because he's got such a quick release. You never know when he's going to shoot. He can look off like he's going to pass, and then he'll snap one. And he's very accurate with his shot.
Off the draw, the Monsters see Siebenoller and Pendenza connect, and now it's Mutri on a left wing entry. Drops one behind Hetherington, just offered towards the front of the net quickly, floated wide. The left to Copley. Siebenoller can't hold that left point, or that right point rather. And to neutralize, the Wolves have it. Poking ahead, unorthodox centering feed, loose in front, Blakely, what a save! Corpusalo sprawling, drops the goal stick from his spine. Another dandy from Jonas, and he is feeling it, and then some tonight.
That was fabulous right there. Acrobatic. And he is now in the zone. And another turnover by Siebenoller at the offensive blue line causes all that problem.
But another example of his style of goaltending too. It's reaction, it's quick twitch reflexes, it is athletic.
He is so athletic. Right here, the puck bounces over, and he gets a poke check and swings his arm back.
Is it the handle of the goal stick initially that makes the save along the ice?
Yeah, he pokes it away, but I think he still gets his arm on it. Here's a better look here.
He's one of those guys, and of course the classic comparison is Dominic Hasek, but one of those guys looks like a squid out there when he's really at his best. You got arms and legs flying all over the place, and somehow there is rhyme and reason to it. And that's why Corpusalo's a guy that the Columbus Blue Jackets have placed a lot of faith in.
He's so flexible out there.
Up ice, Kukin will hammer down. If the Monsters can't get revved up with their goaltender making stops like that, you know, I don't know what it'll take. Ellis drops back McNeil. Chicago counter. 7 minutes to go in the second. 2-1 Wolves. Corpusalo with 2 saves that are probably on his pro-career highlight reel in this hockey game. Up ice, it is Scott spinning and firing down, getting pucks in deep. That's the recipe. Craig and Milano on the forecheck here. Chicago sends one up the near wall that gets past Payarvi. Yavenko touches for icing. 6.5 minutes on the nose left in period 2. And an opportunity for the Monsters to win a face-off in the offensive zone. Hey, fans, every Monsters weekday home game is College ID night. Bring your College ID to the Q box office. Get a game ticket for only $6. For details, call 216-420-0000 or visit clevelandmonsters.com. Monsters hockey is powered by Constellation.
The Monsters have to manage the puck better. A turnover there by Siebenauer causes Korpisalo to have to make that big save.
Chicago rushing a line change there. Yavenko trying to burn one up the left side to Hannakainen. Bjorkstrand follows, but it's around the end wall, and Vaughn flicks to center. Oleg Yavenko's been seeing a lot of ice tonight, paired with Jamie Cyphers for the second straight game, and I like the look of that rugged combo. Up ice, it is Vaughn touching one away there from Friesen. The Monsters came close to playing one with a high stick. Now Hannakainen spun around, and the stick out of his hands after contact with Vaughn. Under 6 minutes to go in the second. Center circle, reaching out Hannakainen. He's got possession. Closed off on by Butler. Spinning and firing Bjorkstrand missed the net wide. Left point, it's Hetherington. Can't hold the line. Drops one in. Delayed offside. Monsters will touch. Tynan hits for a change. Now 5.5 minutes left in the period. Chicago stretching the neutral zone there. Bounced away and into the glove of Korpisalo, who hangs on with 5:24 remaining in this second. The Wolves had a 2-0 lead after the first. In the second, a goal and goaltending on the Monsters Hockey Network. Late second period action at the Q. The Monsters trail the Chicago Wolves 2-1. Hey fans, are wedding bells in your future? Then you'll want to get to Quicken Loans Arena on Saturday, February 4th from 10 to 2 p.m. for the Q Bridal Show. 50 of Northeast Ohio's top wedding professionals will be on site to help you make your special day perfect. One lucky bride in attendance will also win a free honeymoon courtesy of True Bliss Travel. For tickets and more information, visit theqarena.com/events. What do you think, Jocko? Bridal show? You going to be there?
No, probably not. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Hear you loud and clear. Yep, 5:22 left in period 2, 2-1. Chicago leads the Monsters. You have to believe have at least some of the momentum now, though, Jock. They scored the goal they needed to after killing a penalty to start this second. They've gotten what they've needed to get out of their goaltender, Korpisalo. Somebody's got to step up and bury now.
Yeah, they've got to manage the puck better. The next goal is big. I mean, they can't get behind 2 again. Chicago's been a solid team.
Up to center, here comes Mutri. He'll dump one in, Bittner will chase. Maleta, Bittner, Mutri. One past Maleta, now it's a 3-on-2 for Chicago. Watch out, here come the Wolves. In the middle, swiping at that one, Agazino. Gloved there nicely and tapped ahead, not out of the zone. Spinning was Barbashev into the far corner. That was the one transaction between Thursday and tonight for Chicago. They got Ivan Barbashev, their third leading scorer, back from the St. Louis Blues. Haven't called his name a lot tonight. Barbashev lets this one scoot by. Kukin,
he's having a good season, but quite honestly, I haven't noticed him a lot when the Monsters have played him in the 2-year. I know he's a good player, but the Monsters have done a good job against him.
Saying the same thing about Kenny Agostino on Thursday, leading the league in points and assists, but before Thursday, only 1 point against the Monsters this year. Puck bounces out of play. 3:58 remains in the second period. Still 2-1 Chicago, and a good look there at Ryan Craig. He will be one of the playing captains for the Central Division All-Star team, the AHL All-Star Classic. You can catch the broadcast on Sports Time Ohio. The skills competition tomorrow night at 7:30. Then Monday at 7, it's the All-Star game itself live from Allentown, PA. Ryan Craig, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Anton Forsberg. First time in Monsters history that they'll have 3 representatives in the AHL All-Star game, and all 3 of those guys, honestly, if you had to pick 3 guys that have made a bigger impact since the Monsters affiliation shifted to Columbus, I'm not sure I'd pick anybody but those 3.
They've all had solid years, solid 2 years.
Good to have Ryan Craig back, too, after a 5-game absence. Him out of the lineup, production or not, say whatever you will, having your captain active on a night-to-night basis makes a difference for this team.
He's such a leader on and off the ice.
Yavenko into the near corner. Milano tried to stuff one towards Copley. Seems like Copley hasn't had much to do this period. Tapped ahead by Gervais. In behind, in the trapezoid, Korpisalo will lead. Cyphers will gather. 3:10 remaining in the second period. Both teams under 20 shots. 2-1 Chicago. Monsters trying for an equalizer here before the start of period 3. Hand pass brings a halt to time now. 3:02 to go. So, who's it going to be, Jock? You need a big goal before the intermission. Oliver Bjorkstrand seems to be at the front of most people's minds. And if I had money to place a wager, I might pick 29 in Navy.
Well, he's had a solid game. He's getting a lot of opportunities here. When you're getting opportunities, things are going to happen.
It's kind of one of those win, not if things with Bjorkstrand on a night tonight. Outside the blue line. Pulled back by Siebenoller. Rings out to center. Chicago has it. Butler. Talk about captains. He's been a pretty good one for the Wolves, too. Rugged guy, NHL experience. About as sturdy as they come in the American Hockey League. Here comes Siebenoller. Left wing entry. Gonna fire this one off the leg of the defenseman Schmaltz. That hurt him a bit. Drifts into the netting and out of play. 2:36 left in period 2. Chicago makes a change. Looks like the Monsters are going to stand pat. Take a look at the shot here from Siebenoller. Jock, you praised him in the past for his skating ability and scored a goal recently on the 20th against Rockford for doing just that, joining the rush and firing.
Well, yeah, he's got to use his skating ability. That's his strength. And there's not many guys in the league that actually can skate with him.
Former teammate in the OHL for the Niagara Ice Dogs with Jordan Maletta. Off the draw, great chance for Hannakainen, blocked in front. Then the puck lifted out of play, this time by Chicago for the third time tonight. Delay of game for the first time. It's against the Wolves.
Well, that puck must be laying on edge a lot tonight because everyone seems to be getting it up and under it and firing up into the stands.
Okay, 2:32 left in the second period. You're down by a goal. You get this good luck power play now. If there was a golden opportunity, this is it for Cleveland.
Yeah, they have to at least get some momentum going into the third period here with this power play.
So it is an 0 for 1 mark so far. Determined look, I'm sure, on the face of Justin Scott as Vince Dunn takes a seat. Dunn's a pretty good defenseman, too, for Chicago. Probably be on the ice right now, killing this penalty if someone else had lifted it out of play. Scott kicked out. Tynan from the right point comes in. Milano, Craig, Ramage, the other power players. One back to Scott. He'll angle it to the right point. Tynan, center, blue, Ramage. One-timer. Saved by Copley. About ankle high there, knee high. Looking for a tip was Ramage. Left wall, it's Milano now. And with Craig screening in front, that one got glass. Lynn Boone tries to hack it out of the D zone. Craig with a strong play. Scuffs one back to the right point. Ramage will pivot there. Feeds the half wall. Tynan across Milano. Fires, block. Backhander Scott. Saved by Copley. To the line, Ramage bluffs the slapper. And he'll feed back to Tynan. Right circle towards the net. Craig swivels. Milano missed an empty net. Wow, it was Copley moving from left to right. Almost for Sonny Milano.
The Wolves have one short stick. Someone broke his stick out there.
Scott in front. They score! Ryan Craig tipped it home. A power play goal. And the Monsters have tied the game at 2.
Well, that was an excellent power play. It started right off the bat with John Ramage taking a shot. And that's what you got to do is shoot pucks and then react from there. And the Monsters controlled that whole time in the zone. That puck never came out once. But a great play by Craig here. Milano just misses. And then Ryan Craig, he's always right in front. And he gets the deflection here on the Justin Scott shot.
Monsters happy to have their captain back, and he gets the biggest goal of the game so far. Craig at 18-16 of this second period tips that shot from Scott to the top shelf, and for the captain for Cleveland in his first game back after missing 5, 5th of the year, 10th point, all square. Can't overstate the importance of that goal now. With a power play tally, the Monsters need to get to the intermission.
Yeah, they need a strong finish here. And they take the momentum into the third period.
Maletta, low shot, pad saved by Copley. Sidlowski left it in the corner. Pendenza couldn't get there. Chicago out of their own zone. 1:10 left now. Sent down. Corpusalo lets it rim to the far corner. Picked up by the Monsters. Pendenza with speed. Odd-man rush. It's a 4-on-2 into the old zone. Back Sedlowski. Save. Topley rebound loose. Just wide the left post.
There's a bomb by Sedlowski. He can shoot.
And end-to-end now a 4-on-2 for Chicago. Into the offensive end. Great stick there. Wiped it away for T.J. Tynan. And here comes Bjorkstrand as we get fire wagon in the final minute here. Up to the near wall. Agazino, though, and he'll just dump and chase.
Those teams are trading blows right now. And you got the crowd involved here now that the Monsters have tied things up.
Let's remember, Jock, this is only the halfway mark of the season series between these two teams. As both these teams battle for playoff position and perhaps even to get into the playoffs in the second half of the year, they're going to have to go up against each other many a time. This sets the table nicely in the final 10 seconds of the frame here. Well, it's going to be an awesome season series the rest of the way. Dumped in by Chicago. 4 seconds left. Center and pass behind Chicago's intended target. Hannakainen stashes at the horn. And through 40 minutes, we've got a Central Division battle going on between two teams who know each other and care for each other. Not at all. Tied at 2. Huge goal for Craig. Korpisalo's had his moments tonight. The captain greets his team as they make their way off. And here's the latest of a bevy of scoring chances late in the frame. A 4-on-2, and Copley, by the hair of his chinny chin chin, got away with that.
Well, great job by Hetherington driving the net and causing a distraction, and Sedlowski throws it at the net, which he should do there, and just didn't find a spot.
Huge goal for the captain, Ryan Craig, now downstairs to Kenny.
Yeah, this guy was huge in the second period as well, Justin Scott. Justin, tell me what changed from period 1 to period 2, where you're tied now 2-2.
I don't know. I think we had an okay first period. You know, we had a good amount of shots, but you know, I think we kind of just came together, and you know, we got a couple good breaks, so that was big.
All right, your goal got them on the board and got the momentum change. Take a look at the monitor. Help me understand what's going through your mind here and break it down for us.
All right, yeah, I think there's Borky just getting it deep. So initially we're just trying to get the forecheck going. Then he loses an edge there, which is huge, and then I kind of just go strong post, and you know, he makes a great pass. That's all the pass there.
You got to find the back of the net. You're standing that close, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now you're down 2-1. Power play opportunity late. You got to cash in. You do. Take me through this.
Oh, I see the guy breaks his stick, so then my eyes kind of light up, but just way to find me, and you know, it took a great bounce. I was kind of looking for Krager's stick, and you know, that was a great tip. He's great in front of that. All
right, you're tied 2-2. Probably not tied 2-2 if it's not for Corpy in goal and some of the saves standing on his head there in the second period, eh?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I think it was we were down 2-1, and he made that one save and just across the crease, and you know, that's the kind of goal he is. You know, keeps us in the game, and you know, if it's not for him, then you know, it might be a different score right now.
All right, what do you got to do in this third period to finish it off and get a W?
I think that power play goal was big. You know, we got momentum there, and it's just going to be a matter of coming in the third, you know, hungry. And, you know, it's we have an all-star break coming up, so we're going to lay it all on the line here.
Justin, thanks so much. Best of luck in the third period.
All right, thank you.
How about the period that guy had? A goal and an assist to get this game back to even. Stay tuned. We've got more of the Car Parts Warehouse second period intermission here at the Q right after this on the Monsters Hockey Network. Kenny Roto welcoming you back to the Car Parts Warehouse second period intermission. The Monsters tied with Chicago 2-2. Well, tonight the Monsters are wearing Indians-themed jerseys. Next Friday is a Blue Jackets night, so you know what that means. They'll be wearing the Blue Jackets-themed jerseys. It's a 1-2-3 Friday. Your Monsters will wear special Make-A-Wish Foundation warm-up jerseys as well. That will be auctioned off right on the concourse. For tickets, call 216-420-0000. Visit clevelandmonsters.com or any Northern Ohio discount drug mart. Your Monsters are powered by Constellation. Oliver Bjorkstrand had a huge rookie season last year. One of the big reasons the Monsters won the Calder Cup, and he's continuing to climb that ladder to become an everyday NHL player. Let's take a look at his journey as we're joined right now by Tony Brown to give us that feature.
5 seconds left. Werenski, another jam on the shot, turning and firing. They score! They score! The Monsters score! The dream was so real, it had to come true. overtime. Game 4 of the finals. The puck on your stick, the cup in the balance. It's the stuff of dreams for young hockey players all over the world. But for Herning Denmark's Oliver Bjorkstrand, that dream was reality. And in his rookie professional season, no less. A prolific scorer in the junior ranks, Bjorkstrand was selected by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the 3rd round of the 2013 NHL Draft and burst onto the scene as a 20-year-old rookie with the then Lake Erie Monsters last season in the American Hockey League. After posting 17 goals and 29 points in 51 regular season games, it was in the Calder Cup playoffs that Bjorkstrand became a household name in AHL circles. In 17 playoff games, Oliver tied an all-time AHL record with 6 game-winning goals and set a new mark with 3 overtime scores, earning the Jack A. Butterfield Trophy as the AHL playoff MVP, not to mention the Calder Cup alongside his Monsters teammates. Now in the midst of his 2nd year with Cleveland, Bjorkstrand says his dreamlike rookie run fuels his confidence even today.
You know, every time you have success, you can take a lot from it and use it for the future, and it gives you a lot of confidence that you know you can play good in big games. So, you know, once in a while I think about it and try to use it and think back to that I got to play like that and, you know, focus on those different things.
Monsters assistant coach Toby Peterson, a longtime NHL forward and the lone holdover on Cleveland's coaching staff from last year, says Bjorkstrand's got what it takes to succeed at hockey's highest level.
He's been a steady performer for us just like last year. He had a huge playoff performance, so he's had the other team's attention throughout the season. He's learned to perform under a lot of pressure and perform, you know, being looked after on the ice all over the place, so it's been a good step for him. His offensive instincts are great. He has an unbelievable release. He can score goals from anywhere on the ice. He gets the puck on the stick, and there's a chance it's going to the net. So that's something that's obviously going to carry over to the next level. You know, and we're just continuing to work with his 200-foot game, continue to work with his defensive awareness, things like that, and that's always a big step for young players. It's always tough when you're a rookie. You know, you don't usually take on a leadership role, but being a second-year guy who went through the rigors of the playoff run last year, Oliver's a guy that we lean on in big situations all over the ice.
Bjorkstrand's head coach this year is 3-time Stanley Cup champion John Madden, and he makes it clear Bjorkstrand's future is bright.
The first thing that comes to mind is his shot. He's got an incredible release, incredible accurate shot. Been working with him to get it off a little quicker sometimes in terms of and using it more often in the game, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. The other thing is he's got a little edge to him that doesn't come out very often, but when it does, he's a real hard player to play against, so he's been a pleasure to coach.
In 31 appearances for the Monsters this season, Bjorkstrand has 20 points to his credit, including a team-best 12 goals. A strong enough showing to earn him an invite to represent the Central Division at the 2017 AHL All-Star Classic, something Bjorkstrand says means a lot to him.
It's a huge honor, and, you know, it means that I'm doing something right and that I can build on that. So it's nice to get that and, you know, just building confidence and, you know, work on your game and just keep going.
Despite all the accolades he's collected, Bjorkstrand's story isn't without adversity. After making Columbus's roster out of training camp this season, Bjorkstrand was sent back to the AHL just 3 games into the campaign, an experience that he says was valuable to him.
Well, of course, it's a little bit disappointing to get sent down that early with Columbus, but you just got to try and bounce back and get back into a good run and start putting out some points and playing good for the team. So that's what I try to focus on and what I'm going to keep focusing on.
Both Oliver and his head coach know there are areas to flesh out in his developing game. But if his storybook start is any indication, the sky's the limit for the young Dane.
Always a big thing for offensive players is defense, and I got to play better defense, I think, to really stick around up there and bend my size a little bit, maybe, you know, be a little stronger in different areas of my body. So I got to work on that, and it's something, you know, I gotta be better at.
The one thing I stress with him is being a 200-foot player. You know, when you're not scoring goals in National Hockey League, you got to find another way to help your team win hockey games. And you know, being a 200-foot player, being competitive, and being consistent. That's the big thing. Is that if he's consistent, he'll find his way to the NHL.
Yeah, he won't be playing at the AH level for too long. Too good of a player. How about a rookie year in which you win the MVP and the Calder Cup, and now you're an all-star in your second year, so Columbus has a good one. Cleveland, while you have them, enjoy Ollie. All right, we'll get a break in right now. We'll come back with more of the Car Parts Warehouse second period intermission here on the Monsters Hockey Network. We're all tied 2-2. Fans having a great time here tonight on Indians Tribute Night. There's a strike. Andrew Miller would be proud of that. Kenny Rhoda welcoming you back to the Car Parts Warehouse second period intermission. The Monsters, the Wolves, all tied at 2-2. Time now for the Blue Jacket Report. Here's Tony Brown.
Thanks so much, Kenny. The Blue Jackets capping off their pre-All-Star game schedule in Nashville on Thursday. A 4-3 loss at the hands of the Predators. John Tortorella, the Blue Jackets head coach, not with the team for that game. He's going to miss the All-Star game, too, dealing with a family matter. Best wishes to Coach Tortorella during this tough time for him and his family. After the All-Star break, Tuesday, 6:30 right here, Fox Sports Ohio from Madison Square Garden, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. Second place in the division right now for Columbus in the conference, in the league, trailing only the Washington Capitals. What a year for the Monsters affiliates. And welcome back upstairs here at Quicken Loans Arena alongside Jock, Callander, Tony Brown. Let's take a look at the highlights from period 2. First period, all Chicago. Back-to-back goals from the Wolves. They started with a great feed from Magnus Payarvi to Morgan Ellis, and less than 5 minutes in, 1-0 for the Wolves. Chicago padded their lead, and again, Payarvi, the primary assist to Andrew Agazzino this time on a 5-on-3 power play. So 2-0 Wolves heading into the second period. Monsters needed a response. They got a response with a goal that eventually came after a blunder there for McNeil from Justin Scott. That was a huge momentum swing in the hockey game, and Oliver Bjorkstrand, a nice play on the end wall to set it up. So from there, the Monsters turn to their goaltender, Jonas Korpisalo. Take a look at that. Full extension from Jonas, one of his best of the year. On a 2-on-1 entry there, Korpisalo takes it away out of thin air. Then the Monsters get back on the scoreboard to tie. Power play goal from the captain, Ryan Craig. He missed 5 games. He's back. Tips home a Scott shot with Milano picking up the secondary assist. Huge tally to tie the game heading into the third. Brand new contest here in the final period. When you take a look at the stats, Jock, pretty even in shots. The power play advantage to Chicago. What stands out to you?
Well, it's been a pretty even game, although the Chicago outscored Monsters 2-0 in the first. It was pretty even. Brooks had a couple chances there. The second period, Chicago had a couple chances, but Cleveland scored the 2 goals. One thing is the more power plays for Chicago, and the penalty killing for Cleveland has done a good job, except for the 5-on-3.
So you see at the bottom of your screen, Cleveland over 500 when tied after 2 periods. We'll see if that trend continues tonight. Monsters 2, Wolves 2. Do not miss this third period. Going to be a beauty. Central Division rivals back at it when we return on the Monsters Hockey Network. Back inside the queue, start of period 3. Chicago and Cleveland all tied at 2. Oh, great final frame on tap here at Quicken Loans Arena. Let's take a look at our Discount Drug Mart out-of-town scoreboard presented by Discount Drug Mart, the store that saves you the runaround. It's final at St. John's. Toronto wins 1-0. 1-0 final at Charlotte, 2 with the Manitoba Moose on top in that one. 3-0 win in Albany tonight for the Devils over the Rochester Americans. Lehigh Valley and Bridgeport tied at 1 in the third in Connecticut. Stockton and Grand Rapids scoreless in the third period. Second intermission in Milwaukee. San Jose Barracuda, a 3-2 lead there. 4-2 lead for the Hartford Wolfpack over Providence in the third. Third period action in Utica, New York. Syracuse Crunch up 3-2 on the Comets. Wilkes-Barre over Binghamton. Wilkes-Barre-Scranton, that is, 5-2 in the third. Iowa and Rockford scoreless after 1. In Illinois, Hershey and Springfield tied at 2 in the final frame. Ontario and San Antonio tied at 2 in Texas through 1 period. Bakersfield after 1 in Austin on top of the Texas Stars 2-1. And later tonight, San Diego and Tucson at 9 p.m. So those are your out-of-town scores. Our score, Monsters 2, Wolves 2. First period, all Chicago. Second period, all Cleveland. Third period, let's find out. Puck down at center, underway in the final frame of this one. Alongside Jock, Callander, and Kenny Rhoda and Tony Brown, and that's Oliver Bjorkstrand rifling one over the crossbar. Live from the queue in downtown Cleveland. Monsters left to right in the third in navy. Their Indian Indians jerseys on Indians tribute night. And from right to left, attacking in this final frame, it is Chicago in the road white uniform. Just underway here in the third. Already one shot for Bjorkstrand. Now a rush through center. He'll feed Tynan left side. Sharp angle change. Copley the save. Could hold on to the rebound though. And now taken out of the far corner by Kenny Agostino. He and Megan haven't called their names very much tonight, Jock, but those are the two big guns for Chicago as the Monsters take over with the Wolves changing in the first minute of the third.
And Agostino had 2 assists the other night. He really just jumps out penalty here going against Scott.
Yeah,
undisciplined.
Touched up by Milano. Send it downstairs to Kenny.
Guys, in talking with John Madden coming out of the locker room there before the start of the third period, I said, what'd you like? He said, hey, we got a power play goal. Gotta like that. He said, we battled back. We battled in our own zone. The resiliency to tie this thing up 2-2. Last thing he told me, though, as he headed out to the ice was, look, we're in the same exact position as we were the other night. Need a different outcome, though, here this evening.
Great point, Kenny. You're right. It was a little lapse there for about 2 minutes in the third period on Thursday that cost the Monsters in a game that was tied at 2. And Coach Madden said in the pregame today, talked to him this morning, and he goes, look, we have to get better in the third period in these games when we have a chance. He said literally, we'll take 2-2 into overtime any night, but we need to get through the third without breaking our concentration.
Yeah, he just wants them to manage the puck and not turnovers and things like that. This is a bad pair in the offensive zone with a little slash. And you just can't take too many of these penalties. It puts too much stress on your penalty killing unit.
So Scott off. Minute 40 remaining on the 6th power play for Chicago to the Monsters 2. 1 for 5 so far for the Wolves. Game tied at 2. 90 seconds into the third. Here is Samuel Blett. 2-goal performance on Thursday. This time tossed one back past his captain Butler and deep into the Wolves zone. Monsters change wholesale.
Scott kills a lot of penalties too with the Monsters, especially the face-offs. They're in the Monsters zone. Him and Maletta usually take a lot of the face-offs.
2 good ones out right now up front for Cleveland and Tynan and Hannakainen. And this one rifled by Cyphers out to center. He's paired with Dean Kukin for the time being.
Yeah, Hannakainen, when he comes back from Columbus, he always adds both a penalty-killing presence and some power play time.
Nice play there by Cyphers. Earns himself a chance to change. His Tynan will clear all the way down. Phoenix Copley stops one up behind the net. This will be taken by Vince Dunn for Chicago. 35 seconds left. Great job done by Joe Pendenza. Picks one off at neutral. Motors into the O-zone down the right wall. Slams on the brakes in the corner. Stuffs one behind the net. Milano the first one there on the far side. He'll tuck one right back below the goal line in the Chicago zone. Good job done by Pendenza and Milano here, keeping the Wolves hemmed in. Just 15 seconds left on the Scott penalty. Good shift for those two forwards.
Yeah, they've done a good job, both those guys, all night on the penalty kill.
Maletta forces the play up the left side of the Chicago zone. It's Wade Megan. Tries to get around Ramage. Takes one below the goal line. 3 seconds left in the Scott penalty. Mutri clears, and that's it. The Monsters now 5 for 6 on the penalty kill tonight. That's a big showing from that PK group.
Well, and the Wolves haven't got a lot of great opportunities on their power play. They had the 5-on-3 goal, which, it's different. But 5-on-4, the Wolves have not had sustained pressure on the Monsters when they're on their power play.
Nick Mutri, far corner. He'll stuff one around to the near side of the Chicago zone. Back to 5-on-5 here. Tied at 2. Mutri trying to pull to the high slot. Once again, we see Bittner taking Broadhurst's spot. Of course, he was kicked out of this hockey game back in the second period for a 5-minute spear. Had a game misconduct with. That was all the way back in the first, I beg your pardon. And so Bittner, among the guys, grabbing a hold of that opportunity. Turnover forced by Scott. Pursuing Sean Sidlowski, Ryan Craig as well. Scooter Vaughn can't clear. Yavenko, nice pass there, connects with Craig in the high slot to the near wall. Monsters captain dumps one to Sidlowski. Then Yavenko pinching down the far boards, fired one from a sharp angle, and Copley was there. And now freezing. Back to the hash marks where Craig turns it below the goal line again. Sidlowski tried to spike one back Craig's way. Now it's the author of the equalizing goal, Ryan Craig, creating havoc in the near corner. Great shift here from Sidlowski. Scott and Craig continue to hammer in the O-zone with now 4.5 minutes gone in the third. Yavenko eager to pinch into the far corner there. Scott fills in at the left point. And now freezing away with it, but at the end of a long shift for Chicago. Right wing entry, his shot blocked. Yevenko, good job to back check, get into position there to pick up the second wave effort. And now Cyphers will spearhead the rush. Craig right side, tipped on its way, and Copley a good save. What a great shift that was for those forwards and that defensive pair.
Well, you don't see that line combination too often, but they did a nice job. Sadlowski was taking the body, cycling the puck with Ryan Craig and Justin Scott.
And Cyphers, he's shown a willingness here in the past, week or so, kind of beyond his normal expectations to join the rush and sometimes lead the rush for Cleveland. That's how he scored the first goal on Thursday.
And he almost had one early in the game here tonight.
Right side of the O-zone, Tynan pushed it forward instead of pulling it back, and Hannakainen almost picked it up clean. Now Wade Megan, far side of center, 5 minutes gone in the third, 15 to go, still tied at 2. Here's Butler up the left side of his own zone. Tacks one ahead. Kukin skates into it in front of the Cleveland bench. Tried to be chipped there to Hannakainen. Bjorkstrand piled into by Agostino away from the plate. Tynan, great job to purloin that puck. He got tripped up then. Always responsible in his own end is Tynan. Now Hannakainen away with a wrister that goes over the crossbar. Reaching out for it was Copley. Came up with air. Right point Kukin. Now on the left side taken by Ramage. Can't quite step past Megan though. And Agostino now out to center. Worked on by Tynan. The 2-8 come together. Agostino gets a second crack at it. High slot. Waits. Fires. Save Korpisalo. Second chance. Stop 2. Left pad working for Jonas here in the third. And now the Monsters trying to pick one up off their end wall. Maleta to Ramage. Now it's Kukin. He'll hammer one, this time on a deflection, though, into the netting and out of play. 14:09 remaining in the third, and the Monsters, Jock, in the first 6 minutes here, spent virtually the entire period in their offensive zones. Good sign.
Yeah, a couple rushes here, but Korpisalo had to come up big here as Tynan was trying to back check on Agostino, and then he made a change after he thought Agostino lost the puck, and he still had it. They got a couple opportunities there.
End of a long shift for TJ2. Now a face-off controlled by Cleveland. Here's Pendenza. He'll chip to the cross corner and hammer after it. Touched by Ellis right to Pendenza. Then Milano tried to squeeze one off from the base of the near circle. Just fluttered on him a bit. Good play by Hetherington to go shoulder to shoulder at center ice and win a battle. Now up the right side of his own end, it's Stephen Aller. Can't speed away from contact, hoping for Pendenza. Pass behind him. Ellis for Chicago. Up ice, Milano gloved it. Couldn't hold the zone, though. So offside will be the determination with 13:37 remaining in this third period. We'll step aside with the score tied at 2. More third period action next. Monsters and Wolves with plenty of meat left on the bone at the Q on the Monsters Hockey Network. It's been a fun night at the Q on Cleveland Indians Tribute Night, and the Cleveland Monsters tied at 2 with the Chicago Wolves. Plenty of time left in period 3. Alongside Jock, Callander, Tony Brown here with you at the Q. Kenny Rhoda handling our ringside reporting tonight. This has been a classic division battle, Jock, and they're only going to get more intense as we charge throughout the second half.
Yeah, right after the All-Star break, the games get bigger and bigger. If you want to make the playoffs, so you have to make some runs after the All-Star break.
Monsters trying to score the next goal. They've done it once tonight. When it was 2-1, they got that all-important next one. And now trying to take their first lead. Yevenko, he's got it. Calmly plays up the left side for Scott. Touched back to Justin from Craig. Scott left circle. Quick shot. Good save. Copley. And then lifted by Chicago. But, beg pardon, folks. Thought we were flirting with another delay a game there.
They only had warning track power there.
I was waiting for it all night long. I've been waiting for the baseball puns. The over-under was at mid-second period. If you took the over, you're a winner. 12.5 minutes left in the third. Here comes Siebenoller. Ooh, gets through and into the offensive zone. That's Milano, I beg your pardon. Fires on from the right wall. Saved by Copley. Taken now by Megan. He'll stuff up the near side, attempting to lay a crushing blow there. Was Ramage at center on Payarvi. Now Megan has it across neutral ice. Hammered in by Ellis, right on into the glove of Corpusalo, who lets it go. 12-12 remaining here in the third. Out to the right point, Ellis holds the line. Rushed up there and out to center, not quite by Kukin. He'll reach back for it, Agostino. Now fired across the blue. It's McNeil on the left point for Chicago. Content to tap in. Rims around behind the Monsters net. Corpusalo watches from the butterfly on his left post. Carried by the Wolves into the slot. Payarvi leaves far corner. Zip left point. It's McNeil. Little shot pass there. Trying to clank one off the end wall, but a bit too high. Not off the kick plate. And then Payarvi had a sharp angle shot neutralized by the stick of Ramage. Extended shift here for Chicago in the old zone. Good puck control for them, but the Monsters get out of it without allowing a scoring chance. Now it's Milano into the O-end. High slot, fires, shot blocked. Picked up by the Wolves and played to the near corner. Tynan right on the edge there, boarding with McNeil, but McNeil stays on his feet, and now the Chicago defenseman with it behind the net.
Well, that was the longest time the Chicago had in this third period. For the most of the period, the Monsters have been playing down in the Wolves zone.
Out to center, this will come for a Hannakainen clap, and that one nearly caught Copley napping. Save made. Left point though, Hetherington. And he'll hammer one off the kick plate in behind the K. Pivoting there, Bjorkstrand surveys his options. Threads the needle, right point for Siebenoller. Skates one down the wall, towards the net, blocked in front, might have come off Hannakainen. Loose in Chicago, fortunate onto the stick of McEachern, who found Friesen. His chip to the near corner, icing waved off. Siebenoller nudges, Hetherington takes, and then left behind him with no one waiting.
Well, he's lucky there that McEachern had a broken sticker. He would have reversed it right to McEachern. And the Monsters would have been in trouble.
Hetherington buys time, hits Tynan, lofts one into the air. This one will scale to the ice on the left wing entry for Bjorkstrand, joined there by Bittner. Now below the goal line, taken by Lindboom. He'll start out of his D zone. Half this third period has come and gone. It's been a great one to watch, and half remains. And that's the great news here as we remain tied at 2. Here's Bjorkstrand scuffing up the wall. Maleta angles ahead. Bittner racing against Lindboom. Chicago D-man gets there first. Plays one off the end wall. Pinching his Cyphers. Heavy hit on Gervais near side. Craig holds the line. Here's Maleta down the right wall. He'll cycle in deep. Yavenko on his horse to get to the far boards. Now Bittner turns and fires. That one blocked on its way. And the Wolves to center. Left wing entry, Lindboom. Gathers, fires, glove save. Corpusalo. No sweat. Snares in the glove with 9:36 remaining in the third. Some pushing and shoving as we step aside. Monsters and Wolves tied at 2. Don't you dare pull away. Fireworks continue next on the Monsters Hockey Network. Chicago Wolves 2, Cleveland Monsters 2. Half the third period left to go. Welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena. Hey fans, celebrate your birthday at a Monsters hockey game thanks to Ut Snacks. Birthday bashes include discounted group tickets, a birthday message on the video board, special visits for mascot Sully, and more. For details on the Monsters birthday bash, call 216-420-2500 or visit clevelandmonsters.com. Monsters hockey is powered by Constellation. Tonight, the largest crowd of the season at Quicken Loans Arena, paying tribute to the American League pennant winners, the Indians. 14,527. What a night in downtown Cleveland, Jock.
Well, the crowds have just been fantastic this year for the Monsters, and I know next weekend both games, Friday and Saturday, are already looking like they could be just like this game tonight. So if you want tickets, you got to get them soon.
Here's Barbashev. Good feed. Great save. Corpusalo. This time with the right toe. And no dice for Chicago on a great feed from Barbashev. There's another. If you're clipping together the highlights tonight, just make a note of number 70 in Navy. He should be in there more often than not. In behind the net, here's Ramage. Let's not forget the timing of that save, too. I mean, these are coming in huge moments. Barbashev offside here. And the faceoff comes just outside the Monster zone. Let's take a look back at another absolute beauty for Jonas Corpusalo.
A quick shot by Barbashev, and got it away with the defenseman right on him, so it was a bit of a screen, and Corpy fired out his right leg.
It was Barbashev with the pass, but it was Blais with the shot. And Korpisalo there, I mean, you know, that just hurts watching the full split, but, you know, that's nothing surprising. If there's anything that Korpisalo can be described as, it's flexible.
Yeah.
We've seen it time and again.
I couldn't do that at 5 years old.
Yeah, I try not to think about stuff like that, Jock, you know, especially not on the air. 8:40 remaining here in the third. Painful to watch, but great. Korpisalo's been that all night. Here's Tynan, up ice, left wing entry. Scuffs to the end wall. Siebenthaler joins up. Now behind the net, it's Hannikainen. Taken away from him. Butler up the far wall for Chicago. Mackenzie McEachern with it there. Tries to tip around Hetherington, but quick pivot. Gets there before Friesen does in the Cleveland zone. Tynan helps out. Connects with Bjorkstrand on the right side. Monsters try to exit. They'll poke to center. Hannikainen can't take it away from Lindboom. Now with speed into the offensive end. Here's Agostino around two players. Through the legs and a great save. Korpisalo. But what a move by the AHL's top scorer. That's how you get near 60 points in late January.
Well, that was a fancy move there, but Korpisalo didn't bite at all. He just stayed square and waited for the shot.
Come on. Jock, you scored a lot of goals in your day. You ever pull that guy off?
No, I wouldn't have tried that. I do that. I try that in morning hockey, in men's league or whatever, but in a regular game, no, I would not have tried that.
Well, it takes some, shall we say, confidence and belief in yourself to pull that off in an AHL game, but tip your cap. What a move by Agostino. Monsters ice it off the draw. 7:53 remaining in this third period. Take a look at Jonas Korpisalo's night, Jock. One of his best as a Monster, I think, if you look at the individual saves. Acrobatic to start. That one got through his legs. Then from his back, makes a great save with the handle of his stick. The toe save there on Blais moments ago. John Madden said before the game, I asked him, what are you looking for out of Korpisalo? He goes, one heck of a showing. And that's exactly what he's received.
And he hasn't been tested a ton, but he's had a lot of quality chances against him, and he's been there when they've got the quality chances.
And that first save we showed on the highlight reel, that glove save, I think that changed the game for Korpisalo. Because, you know, to start, gives up a goal less than 5 minutes in, then gives up another. But you make a save like that, you kind of announce to the other team it's not going to be easy tonight. And I think things changed for him after that.
Yeah, he got some confidence definitely from that save.
7:15 left in period 3. Saves aside, we're looking for a goal. And Milano charging with Craig in the forecheck there. Have that in mind. Pendenza touches back to his defenseman Kukin, now near side Ramage. Around a dive from a Chicago player. Up ice Bittner, nice little deflection there. Here's Pendenza, right wing entry. Stops on a dime in the slot. Bittner save, Copley rebound. Stop! Oh, John Ramage, the victim of highway robbery. And the goaltenders, both Korpisalo and Copley, they've been the stars in this one.
Well, another beautiful save by Copley here. This is right up there with Korpisalo's glove save in the same net, just a different period. And here the rebound, and Copley stays with it. Ramage just didn't get it up high enough. A nice shot by Bittner, and then glove save by Copley.
Let's not forget also about Copley's 2 saves on Bjorkstrand breakaways in the first period. All night long, he's been locked in too.
Yeah, they've had solid games, both of them, for sure.
25 saves now for Copley, none better than the last on John Ramage. And still tied at 2. 6:40 left in period 3. Blais swivels through center for Chicago and dumps in. Here's Corpy on the end wall. Rifles one back around to the right half boards. Chicago can't quite connect to McNeil. Bjorkstrand reads it. Deflects to center. McNeil, though, back to retrieve. Megan sent one behind Blais. One taken by Ellis. Saucers ahead. Chopped by Kukin. Bjorkstrand skates into it, into the offensive zone. Leaves for Tynan. Toe drag. His shot blocked. Bjorkstrand off the post. Oh, falling to the ice. Nearly got it past the right toe of Copley. Off the iron and the Wolves counter. Great break up there from Siebenthaler. As dipping his shoulder was Barbashev. Bjorkstrand has missed 2 breakaways, and they're a millimeter away from the go-ahead goal.
Unbelievable saves, unbelievable action here.
Not that Bjorkstrand's missed them, but Copley's taking them from him. And that one there, a piece of poor luck. What a night for Bjorkstrand. Chance for Mutri, couldn't reel in a bouncing puck, and now it's Maleta, far corner. 5:38 remaining in this third period. The end wall, it's Mutri. Behind him, poking is Milano. Milano with it in the far corner. Sharp angle, fighting it off there, up high near the crossbar was Copley. Shot by Etherington, never got through. Cleared by Chicago. Etherington now with all of his might racing to beat Vaughn to the puck in his own zone. He did it. Then up the near wall. Icing negated at center by Maleta, and Mutri heads on the forecheck. What an atmosphere. Nearly 15,000 at the Q tonight. 5 minutes left in the third. Game tied. Playoff feel. And you love it when you can say that prior to February 1st.
Yeah, the fans are really getting their money's worth there. And it's an exciting game for sure.
Monsters out of their own zone inside of 5 to go. Dunn at center, connects with Friesen. Taps it Vaughn's way, but Craig takes. Monsters captain has the equalizing goal in this one. Nudges ahead to Scott. He's got 2 points. Rifles off the end wall. Chip behind the net there. Pursuing below the goal line is Pendenza, centered by Craig. No one home.
I'd like Joe Pendenza's game today. He's got his wheels going. He's got some speed.
Up the right wall, it's Craig into the offensive end. Back chance in front. Pendenza hook. Penalty coming. Monsters headed to the power play. 4:21 left in the third period. Tied at 2. And the Monsters with the extra man when we come back. Bjorkstrand came an inch away from a go-ahead goal. Now to the power play for Cleveland in the home stretch. Stay with us on the Monsters Hockey Network. 4:21 remaining in the third period. Monsters and Wolves tied at 2. Oliver Bjorkstrand as Cleveland heads to the power play. He's due, isn't he? Breakaway in the first, Jock. That's just breakaway 1. Copley the poke check. Then Bjorkstrand again later in the period, and this time a great left pad save. So that's not it, though. Down the stretch in the third period, Bjorkstrand leaves for Tynan, goes to the net. Spinning chance off the post. He has come so close all night. He's been maybe the most impactful forward for Cleveland, this side of Justin Scott. And here you go, 4:21 left in the third. He's no stranger to big goals. We know that from the playoffs last year as Morgan Ellis takes a hook when Pendenza drove the net moments ago. And he is left helpless to watch his team try to withstand this push. And I'm told now, downstairs at the scorer's table, the officials are reviewing that play for Bjorkstrand that came off the post. I assume that's at the behest of John Madden.
Yeah, it's definitely a post. No, I think the referees have to make that call unless Madden uses his challenge, but I don't know if he used his challenge. I didn't hear them announce they used his challenge.
We could see pretty clearly, though, it was off the post from up here. So
yeah, the refs don't have that benefit of the replay, but that was so close.
And it even died off the inside of the post, too. You thought for a moment it might just lilt into the net. Not this time. Craig lines up in the slot. Scott will take the draw. Milano on the far half boards. Tynan right point on his forehand. Ramage left point. Breaking his stick on the face-off with Scott. Monsters have control. Scott a fresh twig. And in fact, he dropped the second new one on the ice there. Some homework for the linesmen at their next opportunity. Huge power play for Cleveland. They're third. They're 1 for 2. From the net, Craig Banquet off the defenseman. Loose in front. Monsters celebrate, but the officials say no goal. And the goal judge never put the red light on. And afterwards, some shoving on the end boards. Close call. Well, looks like this power play will continue.
To look at this, but I don't know if the whistle went beforehand. But Craig made another nice play as he does that little spin from the side of the net. And it goes off the defenseman's leg. Then whether they blew the whistle or not.
And you're not going to get a definitive look from up top.
Not from there. It was definitely across the line, but it was underneath Copley, so I don't think they can make that call. And whether it depends on when the whistle went too. The whistle could have went right here, and that's definitely not in. But then when he falls over the line, it's definitely in there. But you cannot make that call without seeing it clearly.
We know 2 things for certain. The first thing we know, Jock, is that the referee was right on the play at the back of the net and emphatically waving it off. So that's the call on the ice. So you need irrefutable visual evidence to overturn the call. Now the officials are huddling, to their credit. it's one of those plays where you might be able to just, through, physics, tell that the puck was over the line. But you're right. The big question is when the whistle blows, because whether it should have blown or not, the minute it goes, that's the end of the play.
Exactly. Yes.
So we will see. I would not expect a change.
Unless the overhead camera that the arena has is a little different than what we have on TV, you may be able to see that. But I guarantee that went over, but you don't see it.
And Ryan Craig here, he's advocating for himself. The fans, of course, are upset, but there's no way. You can't overturn a call.
Actually,
might not have even gone in.
It was on end. It might have been right on the line on end.
Well, you know what? Take it as a positive. You come that close in the first 18 seconds of the power play. Got a minute 42 left here on the Ellis Minor. Great look at it from our guys in the truck here. Zooming in, you see Copley leaning, and then the puck, which I think the official thought was underneath him, was not in his control. You're right, Jock. I think it might have been taken right off the line. I'm not sure it ever got in.
From that other front angle, right here maybe, you can see right there. You can see it up on edge.
So the Monsters, I won't say have one taken away, but come close. Now 90 seconds remain on the power play. We're back to work in the final 4 minutes. What a game. It's been a fun one tonight. And you can tell the Monsters, All-Star break's looming here. No reason not to empty the tank. They could really use this. Up ice, it's Milano into the O-zone. Minute 18 left in the power play. Tynan lets it zip through on the right point. Filling in is Scott. He'll skate one down the wall. Leaves on the half courts to Tynan. Almost lost it. Reels back in on his forehand. He'll connect with Ramage on the right point. That's Notre Dame for Tynan to the University of Wisconsin for Ramage towards the front of the net. Drifts behind the cage. Scott leaves for Milano. He'll stuff left point. Ramage takes over. Loads. Fires through Copley and wide right. The rebound tap by Scott, but shy of the right post to the Chicago net line.
Ramage there. You got Ryan Craig once again right out front. Probably having trouble seeing that.
Ramage spins away from a hit. Monsters still have time. 40 seconds left in the power play. 3 minutes left in the third. 2-2. Soak it up, fans. This is what it's all about. Monsters and Wolves in a meaningful game. In front of almost 15,000. Largest crowd of the year at the Q on Indians night, no less. Would you have it any other way? Hannakainen scoops wide left on Copley. 2.5 minutes to go, 15 seconds left in the Monsters' third power play. This cleared by Chicago. Corpusalo leads for Dean Kukin. Maybe one last chance to get up ice before the penalty expires. Kukin up the near wall. At center, it's Bjorkstrand. Stuffs back now for a backhand reception by Cyphers. Fights through a check from Ellis. Penalty over. Ellis was the penalized player, so that is easy to figure. Hetherington below the goal line. Cyphers up to the right point. It's held in by Butler. Piling ahead, though. Here come the Monsters in the form of Joe Pendenza. Every team needs role players and guys that maybe don't get a lot of the credit from fans or get noticed too much, but Pendenza is an important guy. He's become one.
Yeah, he plays a lot of key situations for Coach Madden.
Bittner below the goal line for Pendenza. Former UMass Lowell Riverhawk. The former Portland Winterhawk in Bittner. Now 90 seconds, just over that, remaining in the third. 2-2 the score. Left point held in. Hetherington. Now Moutry pursues. It's back to Dylan Hetherington. No rifle from center. Copley in to impede that one. Monsters take the chance to change. 1:20 left in the third period. Shots 29-24 for Cleveland. The score, 2 apiece. 2 goals in the first for the Wolves. 2 goals in the second for Cleveland. In the third, it's pinned tooth and nail. Here comes McNeil. Clinks one off the
both ways in this third period.
And we would be remiss if we did not point out that both Corpusalo and Copley have perhaps been the 2 best players on the ice. In behind the net, it's Kukin. Inside of a minute to go in the third. Too far ahead of Craig. This will go for icing. Face-off back inside the Monsters zone. Well, we know from the postseason last year, Jock, a lot can happen in about 47.2 seconds here.
Yeah.
So what are the keys to not only put yourself in a position to take a shot at winning the game, but also not allow a chance in the final minute?
Well, this face-off is huge, and then you just got to manage the puck. You got to make good decisions with the puck. You don't want to take chances. and you want to make sure you do the smart decision in the neutral zone.
Face-off controlled by Chicago. They drop into the far side. 40 seconds left. Right point, Schmaltz. His drive missed. To the left point, held in by Butler. Pressured there by Bjorkstrand. It's down the wall past Megan, in behind the Monsters net. Ramage with a good chip to himself in the backhand. Scoops one out to center to Craig. 25 seconds left in regulation. Craig dumps in down the left side of neutral. Near side corner, Bjorkstrand off the wall. Wanted to center to Craig, who was driving the net. Now 15 seconds to go. Past Craig on the end boards and around to Hetherington. Left point distributes back, but onto the stick of Schmaltz. And the Chicago D-man up the wall. Here's Agostino at center. 5 seconds left in regulation. Wolves in close to offside. Laid out by Tynan as Agostino at the horn. And we are headed to overtime on Indians night at the Q. Don't go anywhere, folks. The best is yet to come.
Some extra innings we have. And hit by Tynan.
End of regulation. Monsters 2, Chicago 2. Let's take a look at the final play here. Agostino whips on the pass, and then Tynan takes the opportunity to, well, put him on his wallet. And Agostino, less than happy to oblige, but does so regardless. Nice game for a lot of players for the Monsters, and this is a big game for the team. Like we mentioned, Jock, they get a couple of days off here for the All-Star break. It's a team that has to get healthy right now. But to go into the break with a win, not just for momentum purposes, but for morale purposes, would be significant for this Monsters team, right?
Absolutely. But this is what Madden was talking about for his third period, managing the puck. And I thought the Monsters had more of the play there that period. And that's what Coach Madden wanted to do, is to he's 2-2 and go to overtime instead of taking chances and losing them.
Flash all the way back to the first period. Chicago, the first goal there, Payarvi to Ellis. Less than 5 minutes in, and then on a 5-on-3 power play, Payarvi to Agostino. So 2-0 Wolves after the first period. Monsters needed a big kill to start the second. They got it. And after that, a miscue from the defenseman McNeil turns into a finish for Justin Scott, his 9th of the year. That got the Monsters on the board. Major turning point in the game. And then the saves for Korpisalo began to pile up. Spectacular. He's had a handful of all-timers tonight. The Monsters eventually scrap back with a Craig tip to tie, a power play goal there. So 2-2 after 2 periods, and on to frame 3. Tynan with a shot off the post, falling for Bjorkstrand. Monsters thought they had the lead. Still have not had a lead in this hockey game. And then more artistry from Copley. He's able to squirm that one off the goal line somehow. That was on a late power play for Cleveland. Video review inconclusive. And so surviving are the Wolves as they earn a point tonight, as do the Monsters, this game in overtime. To refresh, to maybe the hockey layman out there doesn't know the deal in the AHL, you switch ends. So Copley to our left, to our right, it's Korpisalo. 5 minutes, sudden death, sudden life, golden goal situation. It's 3-on-3. If the game's still tied at the end of the overtime period, a 3-round shootout. And worth noting, too, if one team takes a penalty, it's not 3-on-2. The opposing team adds a player 4-on-3 until the end of the infraction.
Yeah, and it makes, with them switching ends, it really makes it tough to make a change. You got to try to change one guy at a time, and it's all about puck possession in this 3-on-3 game.
So the Monsters now 3-on-3 from right to left here. Puck down, overtime underway. Monsters engage the go past regulation end prior to the shootout. They're 3-1. Chicago 0-3. We'll talk about the shootout if we need to. Hannakainen and Tynan and Ramage. Ramage on the right point, had that one taken from him. Chicago at center now, they'll counter. Schmaltz and Megan. Here's Megan shooting, hoping for a tip there. Did not get one from Dunn. Korpisalo the save. And Tynan now will weave at the top of his own zone. Up ice across the center red. Leaving is Tynan for Marcus Hannakainen on the left wall. He'll stuff behind him, hoping for Kukin, who replaces Ramage. Then Tynan leaves. Hannakainen, high slot to the forehand, fires, and that one influenced wide left on Copley. And loose to the far wall. The Monsters do the smart thing here. You need a change, play it all the way back to your own end, get fresh personnel, and let the new guys sort it out on the breakout.
Yeah, very smart by Tynan. It's all about the puck possession.
Kukin joined by Pendenza and Bjorkstrand. How about that? Pendenza gets the opportunity in overtime. Says a lot. Here's Pendenza wheeling out to the high slot. Pressured there by Butler. Runs out of room on the near side. Butler tries to pull him down and does. Agostino now Feeds to Payarvi. So Butler, Agostino, the league's top scorer. Payarvi against Pendenza, who now heads for a change. Bjorkstrand. And as Kukin comes off, Siebenthaler comes on. Into the O-zone. Here's Chicago. High slot. They tuck to themselves, but no one home in the far corner. Siebenthaler on the ice, presumably Jock for his speed, his skating ability with all this open ice with which to work. You mentioned those two things. Speak of the devil. Sonny Milano's out there too. Into the O-zone. Milano opens his hips below the goal line, waits for it. Out top, it's Bjorkstrand, takes the feed, wants to lead for Milano and does. Milano in the left circle now, turns towards the net in front. The tip from Siebenthaler just wide. Milano then saucers, hoping for Bjorkstrand in the high slot. Siebenthaler hauled down. Could have been in regulation, a pretty easy call. Not here. In the O-zone right side. This is Petteri Lindboom. Below the goal line, connects with Agostino. Waiting out top, it's Ivan Barbashev, but spinning the top of the left circle. Agostino again tries to center through, again foiled, and Bjorkstrand needs a change. You're right, as does Siebenthaler. Milano will allow them to make it as he'll control out of his own zone. 2:24 remaining in overtime. Half the OT frame is gone. Milano leads in the high slot. Negan intercepts, stretching things out. Just out of the reach of Smaltz, the defenseman who did not have the afterburners on and could not speed away. Race for the puck in open ice. Tynan takes it easy, conserves energy. Milano gets a change. 2 minutes left in OT. And now it's Hannakainen, Ramage, and Tynan, the same three that started the extra frame for Cleveland. Good play by Hannakainen to take the puck away from the puck carrier. Chicago completing a change now. Free possession for Cleveland. Tynan will start out of his own zone. 1:45 left in overtime. From a 15,000, just under that at the Q. Here's TJ Tynan. Spinorama entry left side. Leaves behind. Ramage drags to the near wall. He'll skate one into the corner and hand off to Hannakainen. Hannakainen out to the center point. On his backhand, collects. Tynan has it. Now Ramage takes over. Ramage fires one off the far dasher, creates a foot race, but Copley intercepts. And the goaltender takes away a chance for Scott to pick one up in the near corner. Chicago counters the other way. 1:15 left in OT. What an OT frame it's been. Down to the right point. Vince Dunn gathers, no shooting lane. Connects in the slot. Agostino. Good break up by Pendenza. Read the play. Took it off the stick of the league's leading scorer. 1 minute remaining in overtime. Monsters can't exit. Kukin, though, atones for his mistake. Warded off by Agostino. Centered to the far circle, and Dunn had it clocked under his capture. Reaching out, Pendenza now turns into his own end with 45 seconds left.
Really not a lot of shots. Both teams really defending very well.
Admirable defensive play. Pendenza into the O-zone. Steps on the half wall. Out top now, he'll retreat to center. Only 30 seconds left in overtime. Will it be a last-minute game winner? Will it be a shootout? Into the O-zone, it's done. Lead for Agostino, saved by Corpusalo, and now poked ahead. And will the third time be the charm? Bjorkstrand on the breakaway, just missed wide. 10 seconds left. We thought the story was written. Story remains. Corpusalo kicks save on Agostino. Now Bjorkstrand behind with 3 seconds left. Good feet ahead. Milano, can he beat the horn? He cannot, and Bjorkstrand.
He's going to have nightmares on Copley.
3 on the breakaway. If you don't give him a chance in the shootout, you're out of your mind. That's where we're headed. 3-round shootout tied at 2. The second point on the line. And wow, what a game in Cleveland tonight. Take a look here, Jock, at the OT chances. Great swiveling feed to Agostino from Dunn. Corpusalo, a massive stop. That leads to Bjorkstrand's third breakaway of the hockey game. 2 early, 1 late. Copley with the toe.
Yeah, he got a stick on it there. And Bjorkstrand, you don't very often see him have 3 breakaways and come away empty-handed. He's going to have nightmares here.
In your career, Jock, how many games did you have 3 breakaways?
Yeah, with my speed, not many.
As is the new custom this year, there is not a dry scrape of the ice prior to the shootout here, so we'll get right down to business. Here's the deal. 3 rounds. Goaltenders again switch ends. So Corpusalo heads down to our left. Of course, it is a 3-round shootout as the home team will shoot first, but if there's no winner through 3 rounds, you keep going, Jock, until you get one. Monsters begin with Sonny Milano. Not surprising. We'll see if the patented Sonny Milano backhand is deployed yet again, or if he tries something else.
Well, both these goalies, the way they've been playing, this could go well into the shooters.
So overtime can't settle it. Milano from left to right. Third leading scorer on the Monsters this year. Has it patiently to the ozone. Backhand scores! Sonny Milano gives the Monsters a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
Well, he's got it back. He's missed a few of those lately, and it's good to see him get it because he's usually deadly with that, and he got it up right away. Where the other night he had the breakaway and he couldn't get it over the pad.
Left-handed shooting Magnus Pajärvi, Swedish NHLer for a while. Has it slowly at center. Creeps in on the forehand. Slows his pace. Slips one. Stick side. He scores. Shootout tied at 1 through 1 round.
That's quite the move there. He froze Korpisalo and just slid it along the ice through the 5-hole.
Monsters turn to Sean Sidlowski in the second round. ECHL sniper, one of the top scorers in that league, gets a chance here. Right-handed shooter. Swings wide left. Top of the circles. Into his backhand, and the save made by Copley. And the Fort Wayne Comet superstar is a monster miss in the top of the second. Now Chicago. They will turn to Schmaltz, the defenseman.
He didn't get Copley to move too much. He didn't bite on that inside-out move.
Tied at 1, bottom of round 2. Schmaltz has it. Right-handed shooter into the ozone, settles the puck, swivels to the forehand, missed the net. And Korpisalo and the Monsters are still tied at 1, heading to the top of the third round. And here comes Marcus Hannikainen. 7 times the Columbus Blue Jackets have come calling for his services this year. He's back in Cleveland, and he's ready to make a difference. Left-handed shooter out of Helsinki, Finland. Has it at center. Hannikainen swings left, pulls backhand, forward, scores! What a move by Marcus Hannikainen! And the onus on Chicago now. A Korpisalo save, and the Monsters win the game.
Oh, Marcus Hannikainen told us he wanted to work on his puck handling. Well, he's been doing something because that was on a string.
Here's Sam Bled. If Korpisalo stops it, this place goes crazy. Bled creeps in, waits, scores. Outlast Korpisalo to the stick side, and of course, we go to overtime in the shootout, round 4. And the Monsters send out Jordan Maleta, the rookie.
That was great patience there by Bled.
Maleta, right-handed shooting, rookie forward. He's scored in big spots this year. Creates a head of steam, has the puck. Into the ozone, way out of his net. Copley now slamming on the brakes. Maleta scores! 5-hole, and the Monsters again push Chicago to the brink. And Korpisalo left to deal with the last chance for the Wolves.
Well, this is amazing that Copley's had such a great game, and then he lets in 3 breakaways.
Andrew Agozzino, the Monsters' all-time franchise-leading scorer, scored earlier tonight, swings way wide left, must score for Chicago, backhanded scores! Top shelf on Korpisalo, and now to round 5. And it's tied at 3.
Well, Agozzino hardly ever scored in a shootout for the Monsters. He was not very good at it when he played for the Monsters, and he made a nice move there.
Monsters to the 5th round. It's TJ Tynan, former Notre Dame Fighting Irishman, Chicago land native, right-handed shooter, top scorer for Cleveland. Creeps in, waits, swivels, saved by Copley. And so tied at 3 to the bottom of the 5th round. Now it's the Monsters who must step up to survive. They need a save from Korpisalo, or Chicago will win the game.
Yeah, they got...
And Kenny Agostino, the top scorer in the AHL, left-handed shooter with a head of steam, has the puck. Game on his stick. Agostino in, saved by Korpisalo. Longest shootout of the year for this Monsters team. Agostino denied to round 6, and still no Oliver Bjorkstrand for Cleveland. It'll be Nick Mutry getting the opportunity. Maybe John Madden thinks Bjorkstrand, it's not his night on breakaway.
Yeah.
Left-handed shooter, second-year man, Mutry into the forehand, saved by Copley. And so back to Chicago. Can the Wolves find a winner? Korpisalo must stand up for Cleveland now. In over the boards for the Wolves with a chance to win it. Here comes Ivan Barbashev, freshly back from the NHL and the St. Louis Blues. Round 6 of the shootout, tied at 3. Left-handed shooter Barbashev, third leading scorer on the Chicago team, will very slowly take the puck and swing wide to the right. If he scores, the Wolves win. Korpisalo, a toe save on the right post. He read it. He hung tough, and Barbashev denied. And Cleveland tries to take the lead now. And Paul Bittner, the rookie, will clamber over the boards, try to get it done.
It's interesting that Bjorkstrand hasn't got his shot. I think if he doesn't get those breakaways during the game, maybe he told the coach to...
Not me. Left-handed shooter out of Crookston, Minnesota. The rookie Bittner creeps in on his forehand. Score!
What a shot. What a shot.
The right goal post. Bittner turns to his goaltender and says, Corpy, win us the hockey game.
What excitement. This is... If you're a fan, you got your money's worth here tonight, I'll tell you.
But a long way to go as Wade Megan has 21 goals this year. Had the game winner on Thursday, and he's up for Chicago in the bottom of the 7th round. Must score to extend the shootout. Korpisalo waits. Megan shoots and scores! Can you believe it? To the 8th round we march, and it's tied at 4.
Well, usually when you see shootouts go to a long time, it's because the goalies are making a bunch of saves, but these guys are trading goals, and then when the goalie does make a save, the other goalie matches it.
Justin Scott, 2-point night, maybe the most impactful Monsters forward in this one. Full head of steam, has the puck at center, left-handed shooter, pulls to the backhand and missed the net. And now it is up to Korpisalo again to make a stop to extend this shootout. Maybe got going a bit too fast there for Scott, and he missed the net.
I know, like last year we saw a lot of the guys slowing down. I don't know if the goalies have figured that out.
Here's Vince Dunn, the defenseman now. Left-handed shooter. Swings to the left. If he scores, the game is over. Korpisalo with the save, and we charge into round 9. We've more than doubled the regulation amount, and at long last, Jock Callander, 29 in Navy, steps to the plate on Indians night. Full count, and Oliver Bjorkstrand 0 for 3 in his 4th at bat. Can he come up with that big breakaway hit? Bjorkstrand, right-handed shooter, the playoff hero from last year. Waits, shoots, scores! Oliver Bjorkstrand in the 9th round, and to the bottom of the 9th inning, a Korpisalo save sends the Monsters into victory lane.
Well, Oliver Bjorkstrand took a deep breath after that one. That's a great job by him to get the confidence back.
Brett Sterling has it now. Korpisalo wants to win it. Way out of his net. Sterling threatens to the forehand. Korpisalo on the ice, and the Monsters win the game in the shootout. Bjorkstrand, the hero. Korpisalo holds down the fort, and Cleveland gets the most dramatic win of the year by a final score of 3-2.
What a finish. That was one of the most exciting shootouts I think I've ever seen. Both teams trading goals, and then the goalies would throw in a save at the same time each round to make this thing go 10, what was it, 10 rounds?
9 rounds. In the bottom of the 9th, it's Bjorkstrand with the walk-off winner and Corpy the assist. We go downstairs to Kenny and Coach Madden.
I just told Coach, exhale, and what did you tell me, Coach?
We were running out of shooters. Thought we had to go with Kreger.
Oh, my. Well, let's start with Corpy, though, in goal. You don't get to overtime without his play. Just why was he on the top of his game here tonight?
He's up there working with Clarkie, and he's a competitor. He's a great goalie. Obviously, you've seen it tonight. He made some real key saves for us at the right time, so he held us in there. It was a great game by him.
What was the difference after the first period? You're down 2-0, come back, tie it up, and then you get the OT win?
It was just our discipline. We stopped taking bad penalties. I know there was some unfortunate bounces putting pucks over the glass, but we also had a cross-check in there and some other stuff. So we were just disciplined, managed the puck, started going to the net and started getting some chances.
All right, Ollie Normally doesn't get one, not two, not three, but the fourth time, I guess, was the charm, right, with the breakaway there. How long before you were going to go with him there, and did anything that he did earlier have any bearing on when you were going to use him?
Well, he did have 3 breakaways in the game and didn't score on any of them. So I was thinking in my head, you can go 2 ways. Either he's due or the goalie's got his number. But we got so far in the shooter, and he's a great shooter, so he went down and buried for us.
How happy are you for him, though? Because I know he probably would have been kicking himself having 3 chances, and then he ends up getting the game winner.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm really happy for him. Glad to see he got it. Other than that, he played a great game. He was one of our best players tonight, and he did a lot of really good things for us.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you so much, Kenny. The All-Star with Jock. I'll say it again. The walk-off winner on Indians night. A classic here at the Q. We'll step aside, come back to wrap things up in a 9-round shootout. Bjorkstrand lifts the Monsters to a 3-2 victory. More after this on the Monsters Hockey Network. Let's move right along to our jackpot play of the game, brought to you by Jack Cleveland Casino, your entertainment destination. Oliver Bjorkstrand, the hero, but Jonas Korpisalo with the jackpot play of the game. What a stop. One of many impressive saves tonight for Korpi, who improves to 6-5-2 in net for the Monsters this year. Cleveland now 20, 17, 1, and 3, and Korpi can't do much better than that. On to our 3 stars of the game. Third star tonight, and deservedly so. It's Justin Scott, a goal and an assist. He factored in both of those second period goals that were huge for Cleveland. Jonas Korpisalo, 25 saves and the win in his 13th Monsters appearance this year. He is your second star, but your first star tonight on Indians night at the Q. It's Oliver Bjorkstrand. All through the playoffs last year, he was the bread and butter for the Monsters, and tonight comes through in the 9th round of the shootout. Quickly, Jock, after the most dramatic win of the year for Cleveland, Indians night, 15,000 fans, home run.
Yeah, great night, great atmosphere. Fans got their money's worth, and the Monsters deserve an all-star break.
Check out the All-Star Game skills competition tomorrow. After that, the next day on Monday, it's the All-Star Game itself on Sports Time Ohio. Our next telecast next Saturday, a week from tonight, against Iowa on Sports Time Ohio as well. For Kenny Rhoda, for Jock Callander, for our tremendous crew, and for you, the fans, watching along at home tonight, we say thank you to Oliver Bjorkstrand, to Jonas Korpisalo, to John Madden, to the game of hockey for a dramatic 3-2 shootout win. Until next time, from the Q, I'm Tony DeBrown, signing off on the Monsters Hockey Network.